Folks, we're back. Fernando, can you hear me?
Nah, I'm joking.
Dude, I'm gonna kill you.
Oh shit.
Dude, what was that? That was the weirdest thing ever.
I don't know, bro. Your computer. I don't know, man.
Ah,
You got it. What you
everyone, we'll give everyone some time to come back in. I'm trying to get the post changed on Patreon. Oh, what a mess, man. So you were already rolling with some topic. Go ahead, continue with it, man.
what were we talking about? Oh yeah, somebody was asking about a magic product. That why was it so badass? And I think we arrived at it was more of like a premium on top of premium. It was just like a very scarce premium Lord of the Rings product, and that's why it was so high. Was basically explaining that Lord of the Rings and Magic is basically like 151 is to Pokemon at the time. So it brought a lot of people back in, and that's when the whole the chase for the One Ring serialized cards, and everybody knows that Post Malone ended up buying it for like 2 mil or whatever it was, and so that's I think there's a special sentiment like attached to Lord of the Rings. Like in general, you have that fan base, and then it was just kind of like the perfect mesh for what it was, and so that's why they brought it in.
Okay. All right, guys. The Patreon links should be changed. The Discord links should be new. So hopefully everyone's able to find it. All right, cool. Derek's back here too. Perfect. Derek, you can hear me this time?
Yeah, I can. How's it going?
Good, man. So what I was saying before I realized no one could hear me was I think one of the main topics to talk about tonight is going to be selling. My video, I have a video coming out Saturday where it's basically all about that topic, but we can talk about it a little bit here. It's definitely the majority of the messages and like emails I've been getting is people wondering about selling and talking about selling and thinking about moving parts of their investment, and especially when it comes to like XY Sun and Moon stuff, some Sword and Shield sets that have been running, and then obviously things like Surging Sparks and 151. Everyone worried about reprints, and so we can definitely touch on that a little bit tonight, and then any topics you guys have. But have either of you guys been selling anything or thinking about selling some stuff, or where are you guys at with everything?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm about to hammer you with a bunch of stuff, so I'm gonna give Derek the opportunity to actually talk a little bit because I don't think Derek's been on the live stream yet. Have you?
Nope, it's the first one.
Yeah.
Well, nice to have you here, Derek.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty new overall, so I don't really have much in English. I kind of started with Japanese just out of getting back into the hobby in general. So, started with 151 and Scarlet Violet. Um, so 151 Japanese is kind of my first investment, I would say, but I kind of was just buying it, to try to get as much as I could just to rip for fun, and just kind of had some extra boxes. Um, and I'm like, well, I might as well just kind of hold them and see what happens because they were just at $100 plus a box. So from there, I eventually just found your channel, Alex, on
Yeah.
YouTube, and I have a background in finance,
Great.
so I really enjoyed, the combination of business and finance and TCG, and so from there I moved into English a little bit again, and um, Surging Sparks was kind of my first investment, I would say, in English, and I just kind of lucked into the timing of the market, and that was the first case I ever bought. Um,
Great time to
and
start.
yeah, so I don't know. I wasn't ever really looking to sell it anytime soon, and I probably kind of have a little bit more emotional attachment to it because it's my first investment. And I kind of just want to see if I hold it long term,
Yeah.
what will happen. Um, so I mean, I guess that's kind of a question I do have for you is what price point do you think boxes like an individual booster box will get to before it gets like really hard to sell or takes a long time to sell, and becomes kind of risky to sell even on a platform like eBay, where if something happens, or the buyer tries to scam you. Um, so sorry, the question is, what price point does the box become so valuable that it becomes difficult to sell? Are there other platforms besides eBay, TCG Player, that you recommend to sell through, like auction sites and such?
Yeah, I mean there is like heritage auctions. They handle a lot of like really high end, not just Pokemon, but collectibles and
Yeah.
valuables and things like that. Golden auctions, but people have different opinions of Ken Golden. Um, and then PWCC, which is now Fanatics, is another auction house. I don't know if they're any better than eBay would be though. Um, if you're really worried about the scams, one of the best options, I mean, with Collecticon being like nationwide now, I don't know, where do you live at? What state?
In Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be multiple Collecticons, within like the Midwest, close enough probably for you to go. Like that would probably be like the easiest way to get out of something, to go sell it in person to somebody, to where you don't have to worry about any type of foul play going on. You hand them the box, they hand you the cash, you part ways. But as far as like liquidity goes, it really depends on the market. In this market, I don't think anything's illiquid. We're seeing flash fire boxes sell for like $4,000. We're seeing team up boxes sell over $3,000. We're seeing a whole slew of other boxes sell between the $1,000 to $3,000 range, and they're all modern boxes. We're seeing modern PSA slabs from the XY to Sword and Shield era go for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, and they're selling no problem at auction. And so and they're being paid for. And so I don't think anything you're buying right now in Scarlet and Violet, I don't see it really ever becoming an issue. Like a lot of these sets like Flashfire and them, they're 10 years old now, and they're still not an issue of liquidity. So the illiquid things, when things become like the market turns down, those are going to be your like older boxes that are 30 or 50 or $70,000, where it's very hard to get a cash buyer. Normally everything's done in trades, but modern boxes you should be okay. Like the $200, $300, $400, $500 range, it's still as liquid as water. Once you get to 500 to 1,000, it might slow down a bit, but you're still going to be able to sell it, especially if you're lowest list. Once you get in the thousands, if the market's slower, it can be a little slower, but it's not something to where you're not going to be able to get out of type thing. Like worst case scenario, if you wanted to take a little under market for it, you'll always be able to get rid of it. As far as getting like full market price, that's the only time you may have to sit on it, when things are a little slower. But in markets like this, you'll have no problem.
Gotcha.
AK, how are you?
Good. How y'all doing?
Glad you joined us.
Glad to be here.
Fernando, did you have something you said?
Oh no, I mean, just when you start talking about scams, I mean, I posted in the group about so I sell a lot of Magic stuff. So I sold one of these. I sold one of these for like $100, and then somebody reaches out and says, "Hey, I didn't get the sample pack, and the item basically looks like it's tampered with." And I'm like, what do you even say to that? So luckily, like I have an update to that, and I'm like, "Hey man, I can either give you market price for the item you're missing, or I can send you an extra one that I have." And he was like, "Oh, I'll take the extra one. Like that's really all I'm missing. All the deck is there." So I'm like, "Okay, cool." So like sometimes it is an honest mishap, but like even still, like I do worry sometimes about sending high dollar items. I think it's one of those things that I think the easiest thing to do is just desensitize yourself really quick. Like selling cards on TCG Player, they recommend everything above $20. They recommend everything above $20. Send tracking, and then everything above $50 or $49.99, like you have to put tracking, because shipping costs and stuff like that eats into your profits. I stopped tracking things under $50, and I've had no problems really. So you kind of have to rip that Band-Aid off, and as kind of risky as it sounds, you just got to desensitize yourself and get used to it pretty quick if you just want to move forward, like and not be so worried about stuff like that. I say all that, and the highest value item I've ever sold is really only $300. So not really a case of stuff yet. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I think your concern is pretty reasonable, like just like any other new seller. But I talk with Alex a lot about, hey man, like what about this? And he's like, I have no problem. You'll have no problem. Just track it, follow the proper chain of stuff, and you'll be fine. Is what I
The
want.
best advice I can give you is if you're ever uncomfortable with buying or selling from a person, just don't. Like, cancel the order, just let them know you don't feel comfortable sending it. If they have a brand new account, low feedback, poor feedback. As long as you're dealing with large established accounts, they have large amount of feedback. Even if it's a newer account, but they have 100% positive and they have a good amount of orders, you're usually always going to be fine. The rule of thumb is the majority of people aren't out there trying to screw you and hose you. And, a lot of those bad actors end up getting, pushed out eventually and getting found out anyway. And so there's nothing I can tell you that's like going to guarantee that you're never going to get caught in anything. But, I've been doing this for I've been on eBay for I don't know, 12 or 13 years now. I've been doing Pokemon for almost 10 years. And other than with TCG Player or something, having like an envelope or something lost and people want their $5, $10, $15 card refunded because they say they never got it. Maybe they did. Maybe the post office actually lost it. But as far as gigantic transactions, I mean, I've made, 4 and 5 figure transactions and I've never had any issues. And so I don't think it's that widespread. I understand watching YouTube, you're going to come across channels that are into the drama and they're going to make it sound like it's happening all the time. They have to comb through a lot of people to find those stories to talk about every single week because there's not a lot of them out there. You have to remember, there's millions of transactions being done every day on eBay and TCG Player, and there's 1 out of the million that get something happen to them. So just at least know that for peace of mind.
Yeah. The only thing I'd add, I agree with all that. I've been selling on eBay for over a decade as well. The only thing I would say is I find that eBay is much more seller friendly than TCG Player, right? Like when we started selling on TCG Player, if something goes missing and you didn't put tracking on it, the buyer is always going to be right. And with eBay, I've had all sorts of buyer pushback with, I sell a lot of Lego sets. And, at one point someone tried to say he didn't send me the Lego set. He sent me this box of toothpaste instead. And, it's like a big X-wing, right? It's like one of the USC X-wings. So it weighs 10 pounds or whatever. I'm like, and I reached out to eBay. I'm like, the post office validated that this was a 10-pound package. Like, how could it have been a box of toothpaste? And I got support. And the sale went through. I don't know that TCG Player would cover me in the same way.
Interesting.
I think.
I will say eBay is starting to pick it up with their seller protection. I mean, that PSA, or I guess it's all slabs, over $250, how they have you authenticate it. I mean, I've been saved by that multiple times now, where the buyer gets a slab and tries to say, oh, there's some dust or things inside the slab I didn't see in the scan, I want to return it. And eBay immediately sends you a message and says, don't worry about responding, we're taking care of it. And then they take care of it and shut them down. People said, oh, I got the card and, whatever, buyer's remorse or, whatever reason they have. Every time it goes through authentication, that eBay authentication, they always shut down the return. And so you have that going for you. Global shipping program, you can feel comfortable shipping overseas. They're always going to cover you there. Once they receive the item at their facility, it's off your hands. If it gets lost anytime after that, you're off the hook. And so, they're definitely doing their job and keeping sellers as friendly as buyers. But again, there's just no foolproof method. Derek, I can't sit here and tell you that someone's not going to try something like that. I mean, short of literally just posting a camera above your shipping area and filming every single thing you do, and I don't know, packaging the thing and then signing your name over all the creases and then taping over it on camera, dropping on the post office, getting the receipt. I mean, you can go through all those steps, and then if anything happens, you'll have all that to kind of give to them, and hopefully they judge in your favor. But at the end of the day, it's not something I worry about. It's not something that's happening on a regular basis, and I've done thousands and thousands of transactions, so I wouldn't let that be a deterrent.
Yeah, no, I mean, I understand too. It's just the cost of doing business once you get to a certain, quantity or scale. You just, like you said, it's not worth your time to even necessarily argue against the buyer for certain items. But I was just more concerned, like, when things reach really high thresholds, I've just never personally bought or sold anything collectible wise, that's in like the multiple thousands of dollars. I just didn't know how people, like typically um, handle those kinds of transactions and try to, mitigate the risks on both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's scary on both sides. Scary as a buyer because you're spending thousands of dollars on one item and it's a sealed product. I mean, it's even the best people in the hobby have been fooled, and it's really hard to tell sometimes with the new ways people reseal. So you have to be careful there. And then, yeah, I mean, obviously, you're always having to worry about that someone's going to get it and try something foolish with you. Like I said, the best way to go about it is just deal with established accounts, large feedback, 100% positive, all that good stuff. And, make sure that the person you're buying and selling from has a lot of other things listed. You can go click at their sold listings. You can see what kind of sales they're doing and get a grasp of that they're a legitimate, business or a legitimate person in the hobby that's actually moving a large amount of money around. And if it makes sense for them to buy that item from you, you can definitely do some of that kind of due diligence on your end to kind of make, again, not 100% sure, but like 99% sure that they're a legitimate person and they're not trying to hose you type of thing. That's what I would say to do. Or like I said, just bypass everything and anything high end that you want to get rid of. Just go to a local card show, go to a Collecticon when it comes near town, and you can just go sell it right then and there for person in person for cash, wire transfer immediately, walk away from the table with zero risk. That may be an option for you if you're worried about it. So you have outs, you have options.
Yeah, thanks. That makes a lot of sense. And I didn't really think about how easy it would be to sell at a card show. Like if you're not vending, if you're just like, a collector going in for fun, basically.
And with high-end sealed product, just shop it around, but a lot of vendors are going to give you very high dollar. Like there's people that'll pay you 90%, which is better than what you're going to get selling on eBay after fees and shipping and insurance and stuff. And so you're usually going to be able to get market price for high-end collectibles like that because collectors want it, the rip and shippers want it if it's a high-end like box that can be opened. So there's a lot of demand for that kind of stuff. So like on one end, it can get less liquid because there's less buyers that can't afford it or want to afford it. But the ones that can are willing to pay up for it because they become so scarce and rare at that point. And so there's benefits to it. It's not all downside.
If you showed up at a Collecticon or some other trade show with one or multiple cases of sealed tag team, you would absolutely sell it, and there would probably be a bidding war. You would get absolutely 100% of market, I would think.
Yeah, if you shopped it around, yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
There's been times where I'm like getting out of the car and people see something that they like. They're like, "Oh, hey, are you selling that?" And I'm like, "Man, let me get in the building." So yeah, I mean, you got to like you're there with people who enjoy the crap out of this stuff. Yeah, I think that's the biggest.
So I hear you, Derek. Like the gray zone is more like you're trying to sell like a case of Crimson Invasion, right? So now suddenly you're in like the $1,800 range. It'd probably be liquid at a Collecticon, but like that becomes a more like you probably have to sell it on eBay, and you're probably exposing yourself to some risk. But again, it happens every day. But there are millions of other transactions that it doesn't happen with.
Yeah. Any you guys have anything? Any topics on your minds you wanted to talk about?
I mean, you keep telling me not to sell, but I want to.
I'm not telling you to do nothing, man.
Whatever, man. He's all up in my DM saying you're dumb. You need to take profits now.
Such a lie. That is such a lie, man.
He's like, you need to sell me these cosmic packs now. Don't be dumb and collect your profits.
No, I mean, I will say, like, so I have a video coming out Saturday. Some of this is going to be repetitive, but yeah, I mean, there's obviously things that make sense. Like, so Surging Sparks, right? Odds are, if heavily favored, it's probably going to have a reprint. You could speculate that maybe they just somehow don't reprint booster boxes and it's all bundles and ETBs and other things. I doubt it. But yeah, so there's likely going to be more product coming February, March, April, sometime next year. And so you can definitely kind of play with fire a little bit Is it likely going to run up until then? Probably. One of the reasons I said in the video today is basically almost all the mainline products are now more expensive than a booster box per pack. ETBs cost more even after the promo card. Booster bundles are more. Sleeve blisters are more. Booster boxes are now the cheapest way to get packs. There may be some other random products out there when you take into the promo costs and stuff, but it's the biggest mainline product right now. And so all the pack rippers are all going to be ripping the boxes right now until they become expensive enough to where it makes sense to buy the other products again. And so I just don't think they have anywhere to go but up. It's just how far up are they going to go before that reprint or the reprint announcement gets here? And I think, honestly, where we're at now, getting to the end of December, I understand people selling. I think we have more time. I think it could run up more, but, again, how much a fire you want to play with. 151. We are getting a reprint. And it seems like, from what I've heard, it's going to be a good amount. The 151 PCETB, in my opinion, is going to be the most insulated from this. That would be the one thing I'd be more, not worried about selling, because a lot of the value is wrapped up in that Snorlax card. That Snorlax card alone is like 150 plus raw value, meaning the packs are only 11 packs. 11 packs at, $9 a piece. You got like 99 bucks. Let's say they fall $3, $4 a pack. Okay, so you lose 30, 40 bucks, something like that, right? It's not going to get hit as bad because the value isn't all wrapped up in the packs. The things I'd be worried about is like booster bundles, loose packs, any collection boxes that have no value in the promo cards. It's all about the pack value. Like anything like that, holding raw singles, those are the things I would start to determine if you want to sell right now on 151, because it's extremely likely all that stuff is going to get hit. PSA cards, they're going to probably come down depending on the print quality. It's going to tell how those are going to do in the future, but that's the stuff I'd be looking for 151. If you're looking to hold something, PCTBs are probably going to be your best bet. UPCs probably a little bit after that. Everything else, either be ready to hold for a long term, or you're probably going to see some dips on your stuff.
Yeah, I guess I hear you on all of that, Alex, on the 151. I just come back to, so loose packs are what, like $9 right now. Maybe they go down to 6 or 7 on the reprint. 2 years from now, they're going to be a lot more than $9, right? Like just like when I'm in this chat thread and there's so much talk about selling. It's like, but what's really is it just the action? Is it like, and you've talked about, you sold and you think something else is going to do better. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Cause it's like, there's no guarantee what you're putting your money in is not going to also go down. Right. There's sets that have less possibility of reprints. Obviously the older you get, but then, there's possibilities that those older ones aren't going to rise as fast as some of the, high flyers that everyone wants. And so there's no right answer. It's just whatever you feel comfortable with. But like you said, if you're doing this long term and you're not worried about the, roller coaster ride in the first year or two, no, I don't think it matters. But Fernando, again, you talking about selling. If you have any of that kind of 151 product and you're worried about it losing value, that's something you could always take some profit on. If you have some Surging Sparks, some extra Surging Sparks boxes, that's something you could take profit on. Here's the thing. I wouldn't take profit on any Scarlet Violet era regular set, because odds are your cost basis is probably somewhere between $95, $100, $105 a box. All the boxes are at like $120, $125, $130 after shipping and fees. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay, what if it gets reprinted and drops back to 100? All right, I'm even. What if I sell right now? You're still basically even. You're not helping yourself out. So it just, there's no reason to really make any rash moves right now.
Yeah, you could be up 50% on temporal forces. You're still by the time you sell it, you're down to 20-25%. This came up in the live chat last month with the Charizard UPC, right? Yeah. A 40% gain suddenly doesn't seem so great by the time that you factor in 15% and everything else.
Yeah. So other than that, Fusion Strike, obviously Fusion Strikes went on a massive run recently. I know some people are wanting to take profits on that because they think it's going to come back down. It's just all these short-term little ups and downs that, I can definitely get on board. I understand. You could say, well, I think my money's better spent in this Scarlet Violet era set because Fusion Strike, the odds of it going to 660 or 680 by the time I can double my money in something else, even after selling fees, I feel better in this. That's fine. That's what you feel better in. It makes sense. It's a well thought out decision. It doesn't mean it's going to be right or wrong. It's just at least you have a plan. But yeah, just this idea of price goes up, so I'm scared and I want to sell, and then you have your money and you're like, well, now what? That's the only thing I try to like warn against.
Yeah. And are you going to regret in 2 years, oh man, shouldn't have sold?
Well, that's the other thing. Here's the thing, right? I'm not trying to scare anybody, okay? There's a whole lot of sets right now. There is, in my opinion, no way every single one of these is getting a reprint. And so now you're also trying to like play the lottery of, okay, which ones do I sell? Which ones are getting a massive reprint coming? Which ones aren't going to get reprinted? Because what happens is, let's just take Temporal or Twilight Masquerade. You sell all of them. I'm going to get more on the reprint. Reprint for one of those sets never comes. It runs to $200, never comes back down. And now you just missed out and you can't get back in and you're just in chasing. So it's like, that's why it's really hard playing that first 1 to 2 year game on like, trying to take short-term profits, trying to reduce your cost basis, buy in, sell, buy back in and all that stuff. And so just kind of keep all that stuff in mind that not everything is guaranteed, right? Like a reprint for every product, every booster box isn't a guarantee.
Yeah. You've been talking a lot about, everyone's been talking a lot about reprints. You've been talking a lot about Fusion and Chillin' when they got slammed back in, what was that, like 21, 22. And presumably Pokemon has as much print capacity now as they did then. It's still about the same number of sets that comes out every year. And I don't get the sense that if they printed, pick two of them, Temporal and Twilight, the way that they printed Chillin' and Fusion back in 21, 22, that you would get, like, the demand, it would get eaten up. We would never know that it was the same level of volume. Rudy would not be buying 3,000 boxes at 75 or whatever. Like, he wouldn't, that option would never come up to him. That's the sense I get.
Yeah, I mean, Champion's Path was reprinted during that pandemic. Yeah. It went to $100 plus, got reprinted back down to $50, ran right back up to $100. Now, it's been stagnant since. That was then everything cooled off and went stagnant. It just never picked back up. But that was kind of a good idea of what happens when you get a reprint during the boom. All those reprints came on the way down. So like I talked about before, you have all the demand coming down, and then the supply gets a massive upturn at the worst possible time. That's why we saw that. Like, just getting a massive amount of supply when the market's good is not going to have the same scenario.
Yeah. For all we know, the Paldea and Obsidian reprints, recent ones, were as big as those Chilling and Fusion ones.
Nah, I doubt that. I don't think they were that big.
Okay.
But, I mean, here, perfect example. Crown Zenith's perfect example.
Yeah.
Crown Zenith, they did everything in their power to crush that set. I mean, they're still throwing those boxes up at Sam's Club in and out and limit 2 or something. And the fact that those ETBs have risen 50% in the past like 4 months, that's really, telling of how, even in a most amount of supply we've seen, since Chilling Reign, Fusion striking them, during the demand in a hot market cycle, it's not going to matter. 151 is another example. They've been dumping 151 product on us every chance they've got. I mean, everywhere is restocking booster bundles, Pokemon Center, Walmart, Target, and then boom, they dropped the UPCs at Costco. Like, that product was everywhere, and now it's all like 200% up, and everyone's like, oh, they need to reprint it, it's too expensive, but no one wanted it when it was cheap. I don't know.
The product's only in demand when it gets expensive.
It's always how it is.
It's the recurring theme of like half of your videos of, and it's funny because it wasn't you, but it was someone else. When Brilliant Stars went out of print, it might have been Danny. He was like, I don't understand why you all are FOMOing right now. This thing has been sitting around friggin' forever. And like, this is he's like the most Midwest nice guy in the world. And he was basically like, you all are idiots. Why are you caring about this now? It was available forever and you didn't do a damn thing about it. Like, why do you care?
It just happened with Silver Tempest.
Yeah.
I mean, all of us, we could have all bought infinite amounts for a year, and no one wanted it. Then all of a sudden, it starts getting some traction, and people start posting stuff on Discord every day about it, and then boom, out of stock. Now, boom, it's $200 a box. It's like, it's mind-blowing how this hobby works. And that's why so many people use this like manipulation and buyout talk, is because it's the only way they can explain the massive movements when something's been stagnant for so long. But all it is, it's the masses all noticing something at the same time and then realizing it's starting to go away, and everyone wants to get a piece of it before it runs out. And because of that, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, and then people call it a buyout. It's just a large amount of people all wanting the same thing at the same time. Because a buyout would imply that everyone's like working together to like raise the price on purpose, but it's just a lot of consumers all wanting the product.
Yeah.
I don't know, Fernando, what about you, man? Have you been getting rid of more stuff, or are you still kind of thinking?
I'm thinking right now. Like that's kind of where I'm at. I'm like it makes so much sense. So it's like, here's just a snippet of what's in my closet right now. There's sealed cases of Paradox Rift, Temporal, Lost Origin, a couple boxes of Silver Tempest, a couple loose boxes of Lost Origin, Chilling Reigns in there. These collection boxes with like one of every pack from, the Pikachu Zekrom ones. I got like 11 or 10 of those. And it's just like, man, dude, like what is it too soon to sell Sword and Shield? And like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like you kind of want to hold things forever until stuff starts to stagnate. But I just don't see it slowing down for right now. So it's like, it's already in the closet. If you don't need it, hold it.
Yeah.
It's kind of where I'm at. But then there's some smaller like ancillary products. Like there's a case of the Paldean Fates mini tins that I FOMO'd into for whatever freaking reason. So like stuff like that, I can see myself just letting go, just to kind of like, you know what, like that's nothing. I have the PCETBs for Paldean Fates. That should be enough of a position there. But then somebody in the chat was saying, what did he say? It was like Anthony saying something. It was kind of good. It said, so much downward pressure on Surging Sparks. I was hoping it would hit 250 to take profits. We're prismatic on the horizon. Damn. I don't know if it'll get there. So it's like, if you're looking to offload some stuff to put your money somewhere, it would be in prismatic if you can get it. That's the problem. And then you would probably rinse and repeat moving forward. But I just don't know if you're going to be able to get the stuff you want at the opportunity cost that me and you usually get. So
I literally just had it. I mean, the conversations I've been having with people it's mind blowing. Like the amount of money people are trying to pour in this hobby it's insane, man. I had a friend of mine. He's selling his house right now, and he's literally thinking about taking some of the equity and putting it into Pokemon. And I'm like, how much, man? Like, what do you think about doing? He's like, I don't know, like 50 grand. I'm like, 50 grand? I'm like, 50 grand. He's like, yeah. I'm just like, well, hey, dude, look. 6 months, a year ago, it'd have been really easy. I'm like, dude, I think it's hard to even do that right now. He's like, what do you mean? I'm just like, dude, like, it's not like it used to be. There's nothing cheap anymore. Everything's ran up. And so it's not easy to get product. Like, it's hard to find $50,000 in product, especially like trying to get bulk deals right now. And it's just like just not even thinking about it. Think about like just putting $50,000 into the hobby. Not just that. A friend of mine from high school, he just started collecting again in the last like few months. And, we were talking, he was on Facebook. He was sending me pictures. He's like, yeah, I got my collection going already. I'm like, oh, what do you guys send it to me? Dude, the stuff he starts sending me, I'm like, what? He's got like PSA 10s of like mid-era, of vintage. I was just like adding up some of the stuff he sent me. I'm like, dude, you got like 15 grand of cards already. I'm like, you just started 2 months ago. Like, it is scary the amount of money pouring into this hobby of people that are just fresh, just getting started.
Yeah, like I've had friends hit me up out of nowhere, like friends that never used to. Look who it is! This guy clowning me every chance he gets. Freaking turd.
I need to have I need to get my stream deck set up and have a button where it just like has a whale go on screen.
Jesus Christ.
Whenever Ethan comes on, just the whale.
What do you mean? Team Guppy all the way.
All right, whatever. Yeah, so I've had friends in the past like month. They're like, "Hey, dude, are you still like messing around with cards?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" They're like, "Oh, because I want to get some stuff for my daughter, my sons, for whatever for Christmas." They're like, "What do you want?" "Oh, I want a booster box. I want a booster box of Surging Sparks." I was like, "Yeah, you and everybody else." You know what I mean? Like, so I think there's just so much attention on the hobby right now. I mean, it's good, but man, you're right. There's so many new people. There's so much new money coming into this. It's kind of wild.
And like I said, it's everywhere. It's vintage too. Like I was talking to this guy, and he's like, yeah, I'm trying to complete my Blastoise collection. A PSA 10 Shadowless might be too much. I'm probably gonna have to go with a PSA 9. I'm like, a PSA 9's too much, dude. What are you talking about? You know, it's just like, and people are just dropping thousands of dollars without like giving it a second thought. Like it's just like normal.
So, but I guess maybe that's the thing when you talk about selling. How long are the singles going to keep? Like that's where it feels to me like there's going to like. I would feel not comfortable about selling 151 sealed product because I know in 3 years where it's going to be. Some of the auxiliary IRs and SIRs that are running up right now, it feels like those are going to correct. Is that?
Yeah, I think it really depends on the quality of the reprint. Like, if this reprint came out and the card quality was absolute shit and it was worse than before, I think you could actually see like a V-shaped recovery on the slabs, and you could actually almost see the singles trend down and the slabs kind of go down and then back up, and you could actually see like a bigger margin than before because people are like get on this bandwagon of thinking like, oh, we're never going to see any good quality singles. We better get our hands on the PSA 10s because it's going to be hard to find them in the future. So like that's always something that could happen. Not saying it will, but
did Alex finally let me in?
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing, Connor?
How's
So
it going,
so here we had a story with Connor recently. He wanted the Charizard GX from Hidden Fates, and I wasn't ready to sell it. So then when I was ready to sell it, he wasn't ready to buy it, and then it sold on eBay. And he messaged me today like, "Hey, so what do you want on that Charizard?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't got it anymore."
I'm gonna wait. Strikes again. It strikes again, guys.
I'm gonna wait.
I want to buy the thing when the ETBs are 175, and now they go up to 240 or whatever the heck they're at now. So now
Hidden Fates, yeah.
Now I'm gonna have to buy one off eBay. So
it's crazy, man.
Oh wow. Hey, I want to set the record straight on what's his name? What's the guy who you had on with last night? Who's the guy you
Amit?
Steve?
Oh, Steve?
Yeah. He was in your Discord saying he wanted to buy like PSA 9 Charizard SP 107s, and everyone was like, dude, do not buy that card that has an 84% gem rate at a PSA 9. And he was like, well, I write articles for Freaking Alpha, so I know what I'm talking about. And then that's when people jumped on him. So I know he plays this story like everyone gave him a hard time, but like people were trying to give him advice.
Gotcha.
I mean, I think he has good perspectives, though. I like the guy, but it's a little bit of a different perspective than what he gives on the story on it.
Yeah, my whole goal with it, man, is just to keep getting more exposure from outside sources to the hobby, because even if they're green and don't know a lot, it all can, just adds to the growth of the hobby. That's why I like it.
Oh, I thought that live was awesome. You had a great live yesterday. That was great. I hope you do more things like that. I don't think anyone else is really doing anything similar to that.
Yeah, I mean, because I love talking to people in the hobby too. Like, it's just I like doing both, because sometimes you start to feel like this echo chamber. You start to feel like you're in this bubble of like everyone's kind of talking to the same thing and saying the same conversations. So it's just like to have some, new blood, new perspectives, even if they're kind of off the wall perspectives. It's just nice to have some like new conversation.
Yeah, it gets to be like a little circuitous. You're saying the same things over and over again. So it's nice to have someone be, kind of bouncing around And you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. This makes sense. I was surprised. The only thing I would say is he didn't really push back at all. I thought he might push back a little bit.
I know after he said he's like a debater and all that stuff.
He was like, yeah, that makes sense. And they're like, okay.
And I gave him the out. I'm like, hey, dude, play devil's advocate. Let's do this. He didn't give me anything.
Yeah, no, he didn't really bite for anything. So I thought he would maybe a little bit. But
because there's definitely talking points. Like you can point out negatives.
Yeah, I mean, you could, but I think everything's going pretty well now. It'll be interesting to see what happens. I think,
Are you what have you been doing, Connor? Are you like selling anything right now, or is it just kind of normal business?
I've been selling some things. Like I have a bunch of, but the main things I haven't been selling many graded slabs. I have a lot of plays that I've made that I think I've said pretty clearly before, because I was selling these during that like previous boom that happened in like July. Like hold
on, let me stop you. Do you mean you just haven't been like grading as many, or you mean you've been holding on to them?
I've been holding on to the slabs. Like for instance, I've graded a ton of the Mewtwo V-Star GG44 or whatever. I graded a bunch of like the Charizard promos from the UPC. I bought a ton of ground truth. I bought a ton of like those gold cards and graded them, and just held the raw copies that weren't gradable, because I just buy them all off TCG Player. I don't have time to like go to shows or card shops or whatever and buy them, so I just buy everything off TCG Player. And so I did start to sell, like when I bought the Giratinas, the card, I was buying it for 90 to 100 after that pop. And it went back down after the pop in July. It went back down to like 90 to 100. So I bought a bunch there. And then now I'm unloading them for like 130. But also I'm unloading. I am selling some of the slabs, because it was like a $200 slab like a month ago. And now they're selling for like almost 300. I think I sold them for 285 or something. But a lot of them, like I'm selling some of the Mewtwo's that were raw copies that weren't gradable, but I bought them for like $40 and they're selling for like 90 now, 90 to 100. So I kind of like, I don't have any, like I just, I have enough extra capital that I don't have to like sell things right away. So I just buy the cards I like and hold on to them.
So other than just like moving in and out of normal plays, you're not like offloading anything?
No, I sold a case. I had 8 cases total of Surging Sparks. I opened like 3 boxes. I sold 1 case at like $12.50. I have one listed at like $1,500 or something like that on eBay, but like I'm not really selling that much. I sold a case of 151 ETBs that I bought for like 350. Like I literally bought it like 35 a box, and I sold it for like 1,100 or 1,200, something like that. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm selling.
I get it.
I've been selling. Things have been selling well, meaning things that I've had listed for a long time that haven't been selling are now selling. So like every day I'm getting sales, which I wasn't like 3 months ago. So like all this stuff that I had listed, I list them kind of high for buy it nows have been starting to sell, but I'm not like fire selling or selling a ton of stuff. I mean,
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yeah, I mean things are doing good. What about you guys?
I haven't heard from Ethan yet.
I know Ethan is keeping the crown. Between Ethan and L Dubs, they're like keeping the Surging Spark booster boxes low, because Ethan likes to low list his booster boxes at 210.
It is so funny when I scroll through TCG Player now. It's like I know everybody on the list. Like Captain Planet, he's always in my my pack breaks. That's Tim. We got Ethan with Celestial. We've got L Dubs. Like everyone's in the Patreon. It's just like they're all the ones at the bottom of the list. What are you guys doing?
Like, so occasionally I'm giving Ethan a hard time for selling his booster boxes for 210. But dog's got to eat, I guess.
The current one I have listed now is I bought a case from a guy locally for I think $900. So it's like, well, might as well just flip it real quick.
Got to make that 10% profit, man.
That's right. hey, take the profit.
No,
I have a zero cost basis now in my remaining cases.
Yeah, no, you got to keep some stuff moving. I mean, I ended up buying. I know you're not a big fan of Japanese. I did buy Terrestrial, and I opened up more than I wanted to. My wife and I were opening up. We had a good time, and we hit a ton of great cards. And so they're all. I hit the Umbreon. I hit like a bunch of the Evolutions. So I'm going to send those all off to grade, and I'll probably honestly keep most of them. But
Nice.
yeah, I mean that play's done well. I bought them at like 50 a booster box, and they're at whatever they're at. Who
Yeah,
else
I
is doing
had an order.
Japanese?
My order got screwed up.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened?
So me and Pokey Plumber had a pretty good deal on them. We got like 15 cases or so, and we bought cases and we got them for under $50 a box.
As cases?
And
that's pretty good if you got them as cases for that.
Yeah, and they sent them all as loose boxes.
Ooh.
So they said no problem. It was an honest mix-up. Send the boxes back, send the cases. And I even told Nick, I'm like, dude, I think you should say, we're not sending those back until you get the cases. Anyway, he sent the boxes, and they say we'll honor the price on the cases, but it's not going to be till January, or you can pay extra and you can get cases now.
Yeah, I don't know what I would have done in your situation.
You guys take down.
Maybe you should have just kept them and then just asked for like a 10% discount.
But here was the reason we didn't keep them. So he opened 12 of them.
Yeah.
Didn't pull any God packs.
But did he get hits or did he not get a God?
He got hits, but he's just like, dude, I don't know. It seems fishy. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do rip and ships if no one's gonna get anything. Like this, that sounds fishy.
No,
why?
But was he getting an SAR per box?
I know he got some, but I don't think it was like as much as like he was expecting. Like he opens a lot of Japanese. I never do, so I just kind of took his word for it. But
because if you were hitting one per box, then like that's just what it is. And I mean, you can't really base it on a God pack. I have a guy I buy from that I bought a case of what is the Crown Zenith equivalent? Whatever the Crown Zenith V-Star Universe or whatever from. I bought a case from him, and I know I think Pokey and he was talking about like you can just resell the cases because I bought a case from him, and then I opened up the case. I opened up like 4 boxes. I didn't get a single secret rare in every box. I got like all the other hits, like all the little like the Charizard, Radiant Charizard and stuff like that, and like all the other BS little EXs or whatever they are, that you get 1 per pack. But I opened like 5 boxes and I had to talk to the guy and be like, you got something was wrong with this case. Someone's definitely gone through these boxes. He ended up having to refund me for it because that stuff can't happen. And even by buying cases, you're not safe. You might have a false sense of security because when you think about it, you look at a Japanese case, it's just like a box. I mean, you can open up the side of it and just re-glue it back. So you got to be careful even with that.
It's one of the reasons I don't like Japanese product too. It's just like 90% of the shenanigans that happen in this hobby are always based around Japanese with like the resealing cases, resealing the boxes. Like, are they, opening the case and then hitting the God pack and then selling off the rest of the boxes because they already got the big thing? Or like, there's just so many like weird issues that have to do with that you don't really have to deal with in English, right? It's not like English, you're worried about buying a loose box. People just like prefer cases, but like, you're not like thinking that you're getting, someone's getting one over on you because you bought a loose box instead of a case. There's just so many weird parallels that aren't the same with English.
I mean, people were talking about people reselling Sea and Sky boxes and stuff like that. So I think the same thing. I think whenever there's an incentive to do it, people do it, Alex. And you'd be surprised. Like people will go through and resell $2.50 Crown Zenith boxes to pull out the hits. Or packs to pull out the hits. So I don't know. You just got to check from a good source and be smart about it. It can happen in Japan. That's why I mean, the stuff that like Pokiani says where he doesn't want to just give away his contacts is true, because like you need to have a good contact. Like my guy refunded me, and then he looked into it and found out like one of his suppliers wasn't good, so he doesn't use that person anymore. So
Dude, Pokiani won't give me his contacts.
yeah, I mean, that's kind of crazy, but I mean, so you're the person he's talking about in the videos? No.
I am the person that. So it's so funny. We were talking on the phone, and then like I don't know, 10 minutes later, he puts out that little short about like talking about business and Nexus laws. I'm like, where'd you get that piece of content from? Because like I called him asking about how the Nexus laws worked, because I'm starting to get hit with them on my website now, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a pain. That's one of
Ethan,
the
you deal with that?
That's one of the benefits of eBay. Why you or going through like Whatnot, right? I mean, you might, if you get too big, you might want to go through Whatnot or whatever.
I'm actually.
Who wants to deal with that shit?
I know. I'm actually weighing the pros and cons right now. You know, it's like the problem is my audience is on YouTube, and a lot of people have bad taste in their mouth from Whatnot. I can't get on Fanatics or eBay Live. I've already tried. I got turned down or put on a wait list or whatever. The only real option other than like Whatnot would be selling listings on like eBay, but as like pack breaks. But I feel like that could get hairy.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, because then you're also going to get dinged with on eBay if you don't have a shipping. So you'll get hit with your top seller thing, because if you don't have a ship tracking number.
Oh, there's tracking number.
You can't. I guess you could generate the tracking number right away. Like within.
Well, I ship everything out next day. That wouldn't be a problem.
No, but like you have to generate a tracking number within 24 hours of them ordering it. Otherwise, it doesn't count as them if you shipping it within 24 hours to have the 1 day shipping.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. So, I'll just have to put the pack breaks up.
Yeah, it's just a pain. I mean, you could always generate a tracking number knowing, like, how much the package is going to weigh.
I mean,
but
put it this way, like, yeah, if we weren't talking that subject, I had a pretty long conversation with Brian about it, and it's a bitch, man. Like, he's got, like, just the amount of money you have to spend to have these companies do all of it for you and file in all these different states and know all their tax codes and pay them to file for you, so you don't have to go try to file it all yourself. The local CPAs, I know his local CPA, mine, none of them want to handle it. They don't want to have any part of it, because then they're liable and they don't know every different state's laws. So that's why these third party companies do it. So I talked to the Avalara company. I'm going to reach out to Intuit and see if they have anything like that and what their prices are. But it's a mess, man. And like the prices, like the fees you get charged throughout the year, especially if you hit a lot of states' nexuses, which next year, you know, what I'm planning to do with streaming, it's probably going to be a problem. Honestly, it starts to almost outweigh what you're going to pay in fees, especially if you can negotiate fees with some of these other streaming companies. It honestly equals out to about the same thing with way less stress.
Yeah, I think you should.
Time too.
I mean, Whatnot kind of sucks, but I think, you know, I know it sounds like you've tried to get on Fanatics, but I think like doing something like that, once they kind of open up more on Fanatics, might be a good option for you. Just because I wouldn't want to deal with that if I were you.
Yeah, and who knows if TikTok is going to still be around next year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't want to do TikTok because they have that weird introductory period where you like they hold so much of your money for so long time, and like you have to work up to start getting your payouts. Whereas Whatnot, I mean, I negotiated last time where I got my payouts immediately next day, and so I know they'll give me my money right away.
Yeah, it's one of those you're basically damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing right now.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I didn't do with Whatnot last time, the only thing I was thinking, I never simul-streamed. So I could try to do that where I'm just streaming on YouTube and then I got Whatnot up as well.
Oh, you're casting it, yeah.
And just say, hey, buy through Whatnot. I'm opening it on YouTube.
You cast you're opening it live on Whatnot, but you're casting it for YouTube at the same time. That wouldn't be bad.
Is there a reason you can't just do it through eBay, like even with an affiliate link?
Like I said, the only thing I guess would be the shipping.
Can't you set it to 2-day shipping or whatever? Like, can't you just change the handling time? Or do you normally ship stuff untracked?
You can't ship things untracked to get
you
the
can't
top dollar.
You can't untrack, but can you switch the handling time?
You
Yeah, you
can't.
can set it to like 30 days.
You're supposed to have it within a day to get top seller. I thought you have to have 24 a day.
That's what I've always thought, but now I'm starting to think differently.
No,
Ethan, do you have any idea on this?
Top seller, I think it's like a day or two, if I recall.
Yeah, I think it's a day. I'm almost positive it's a day. And also, I've shipped.
Looking.
I've sold a lot of code cards before. I used to sell those if I like ripped boxes and stuff, and that always dinged my like shipping, like that always.
Oh, because you would email them.
Yeah, because I would eBay message them and then mark them as shipped. But since I don't have tracking, it basically counted as like shipped without tracking, and that would ding you.
Yeah, people always get mad at me. They reach out trying to get me to do that. I say, no, I got to ship them.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't worth like paying the money to ship them for me. I just took the hit because it was only, I can still do it because I do it so infrequently that it still fits within the metrics. But if you start doing that for all your orders, you're going to be screwed on your.
So
You're going to lose the top seller. And if you're willing to do that, fine. I mean, you'd have to just figure that out if that's worth it. It might
so
be.
top rated seller is you, in order to reach it, you have to ship it within your chosen shipping and handling time that you put down for your listing. And then top rated plus is you have to do either same day or within 24 hours updating it.
And you need top rated plus to get the discount.
10%. Yeah. Yep. 10% is the, yep.
So it's a day. So to get the 10%,
Right. It's a day.
you need to do it within a day.
Yeah, and so that's why I have to weigh out. I have to weigh out kind of what all the fees for all the other stuff's going to be with like the accountants compared to what like I estimate my sales to be and what the percentage on eBay. But I mean, I guess I could always link the listings with my eBay affiliate link, so I could help with the fee a little bit. Top rated seller helps a little bit, whatever. Like, I just need to kind of weigh the pros and cons of which way.
Like, are you doing? I know you don't have to give numbers or anything, but are you like what percent of your Pokemon business is rip and chips? Like, profit wise, not revenue. Like, are you making a lot off these? I don't really participate in them, so it doesn't matter.
I mean, we didn't do as much this month because obviously I was sick, and then Christmas and New Year's is gonna throw it off. But like last month, it was like 75,000 in sales.
Shit.
Yeah.
And what's your? Are you making what, like 15, 20% or something?
It's good.
More. Okay. All right, so you're doing pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'll tell you that in my day job, working with finance organizations, they all outsource the transactional tax stuff. All of this sales and use tax, it goes to a third party, like every time. And obviously, they're spending far more. Their portcos and PEs or their large companies, but no one does this internally. Everybody pays for it.
Yeah.
So there's a question around: could you do like Drip or Twitch?
So I will never do business with Drip because of how they treated me. I'm not. I can't mention names, but
Sorry, what happened with Drip? I don't remember you. I remember you doing whatnot, but I don't.
All
remember
right.
Drip.
I can't mention names. You guys probably know who they are. You've seen the people on YouTube that have taken Drip deals. Well, I'm friends with a lot of those people, and so
Honestly,
we talk, and I know their contracts. And the contract that Drip was trying to offer me was grossly undervalued compared to what these guys were getting. And even when I negotiated, they were trying to like ask so much more from me for so much less. And it just puts such a bad taste in my mouth. And it's just where I would never do business with that company again. And so that's kind of where I'm at with Drip.
What about Twitch?
I don't have a following on Twitch.
What's the deal with Fanatics? Like, when's the last time you touched base with them?
I guess back in like August, September.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're doing as much as you said you were doing,
I sent them all of my sales statistics. I sent them my YouTube, my follow. I sent them everything, and they said, you're on the wait list. Whatever, we'll let you know when spots open up.
That's great. That's
Build your own app.
month isn't
Like Jim.
enough for you to do.
Yeah, they're very they're like super Godly Shad's entered. They're like really protective. They're gatekeeping Fanatics and eBay Live really hard right now, and so the people that are in those, they're really taking advantage of it. And so it'd be nice, but there's just no way in.
Wait, Godly Shad's here? Oh God, who let the Moby Dick in?
Ethan needs to. I need to work a deal with Aaron for his eBay Live access.
I have no idea if he would let you do that or not. I got no clue.
You haven't even tried. You haven't even tried. That's messed up.
You 100% can message him.
Do it.
I mean, he's not using it. It's just sitting there.
Yeah, man.
You're not wrong.
They have him on eBay Live, but he doesn't use it. He's set up for eBay Live, but he doesn't use it.
Yeah, he rarely uses it. He uses it occasionally. But
dude, he moves so much product. He doesn't need.
Yeah, he doesn't need to use it.
No, honestly, I don't see why you would want to use it if you were him, but it's just funny that they have him set up with it, but he doesn't use it.
I think he was one of the first people to like beta test it, before it went public.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, that's your route. You got to do that. Just pay him.
Yeah, I don't know. It's something I got to make a decision on really, really quickly, though. I'm only like another week or so away from the new year, so it's
otherwise you got to start prepping and get Nexus for all of 2025.
Wait, does it start why isn't it this year? Isn't it just whenever you hit the threshold, or do you have
Yeah, I've already hit 2 thresholds, and apparently once you hit a threshold, you're on. So you have to start paying sales tax immediately, and then next year you got to pay sales tax for that state. So I have to manually go charge certain states sales tax and certain other states not sales tax, because if you're collecting sales tax and not remitting it, that's illegal too. It's a mess, man.
Yeah, I know. It's a massive pain. I mean, in my state, in Wisconsin, it's weird. I set myself up with a DIN and all that stuff, and I even did the sales tax thing. Technically didn't have to, but I have to fill out that tax form, basically saying eBay collects. I have to say what it was, and then I just have to say it's all been remitted by eBay. But yeah, it's a pain. I wouldn't want to have to do that in all the different states. That's just a headache.
Yeah. We'll see. Well, I just gotta weigh the pros and cons and the costs and things, and I'll make a decision. It's just, for me, my philosophy always is I'm always willing to pay a little extra for peace of mind. So it's if this is going to be a thing where I have to constantly monitor and constantly keep up with the accounting, firms or whatever, and, whereas I can just put it on their platform and they just do it all for me. And even though I'm paying a little extra fees, I may just go that route to just not deal with it.
Yeah, definitely do that. It's not even a question.
This is the stuff people don't tell you. It's all fun and games having your own site when you're small. When you start to grow, it's not fun and games anymore.
They want you to open a business and be successful, but they don't talk about all the stuff like this nowadays.
I was telling Brian, I go, what's to stop me from having 4 LLCs and then every 3 months just switching to a new one? Every time my sales hit a certain time, all right, move to the new one.
Right before, yeah.
You guys see this new thing where it's that what is it? This stupid thing, this BOI thing that you have to register with?
Oh, that's everyone, yeah. You have to do that. That's federal law. Or, sorry, not federal law. It's federally mandated, though.
Yeah, do that, because you'll get charged a lot of money.
They will charge you a lot of money if you do not do it. That's right.
I had LLCs that I still had open from back when I was running my other companies. I had to go through on my site. I had to get all those I had to pay termination fees to terminate my old LLCs and stuff, because I was freaked out. They were going to start getting me on that. It was I got on that immediately. I was worried.
Wait, so
they charge you a lot.
Wait, just because we're talking about this, Ethan, are you an LLC or a sole proprietor?
I am an LLC.
So you have
an LLC.
Alex?
I filed it already.
Alex, you're an LLC?
Yes.
So everything I've seen says if you're a sole proprietor, you don't need to do it. So I haven't done it because everything I've read says basically you don't have to do it if you're a sole proprietor.
Do you have an EIN?
Sure. I do, but
You have any
it
idea?
wasn't filed through the Secretary of State. It was filed through the Department of Revenue. So,
Okay. Yep.
as far as
Yeah.
I know. But it's very confusing because, like, then they say, like, or equivalent department. You know, like, it's, like, completely... It's one of those things they rolled out without any real guidance.
Right.
It's pretty much bullshit. I think they're just going to, like, let it ride and find people who they want to. Like, they said they're not real... They've said, apparently, like, oh, we're not really going to, like, try to, like, enforce this on the little guy. But, like, you know, they're going to, like, if they want to. Like, if they want to fuck you, they will. But they're probably not going to try to enforce it on, like, everyone. As far as I've seen, I don't need to do it if I'm a sole proprietor, even if you have an EIN. Because I just did all that stuff to get my, like, sales tax exemption. But it's not through the Secretary of State. Everything I've seen, I don't need to. But I was just curious.
If it's just your local like Department of Revenue and all whatever your Department of Revenue is for the state, that's fine. If it's the Secretary of State or if you're filing with the IRS, that is.
Jesse seems to think it's on hold.
It could be. It could be on hold. I mean, I filled mine out as soon as I heard about it. It took like 5 minutes for me to do it. It wasn't that long at all.
I mean, the only thing, I file all my stuff on the Schedule C, so I don't file any separate documents with the IRS other than just a schedule, you know, like your normal tax form.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm not going to do anything, and hopefully I don't get like fined.
Yeah. If you end up having to do it, it takes like 5 minutes. It's not too bad. It's just
I went through.
What form are you guys talking about?
The BOI. Basically that you're not like the anti-money laundering with the I think it's like federal crimes or something like that.
So Ethan, I guess the only question I have,
I've never even heard of this.
Let me open mine real quick here. 1 second.
Ethan, I went to go do it, and it seemed to be something that you had to then be constantly updating. So I was like, well, I don't want to do this if I'm not really required to, and I don't want to have an obligation to be like updating this every quarter or something. So do you remember anything about that?
All I heard is that you just have to file it. Basically, it's a beneficial ownership information report. Basically, it's BOIR is what it's called. Basically, it's making sure that you're not using your business for like money laundering and all that. It's the file of financial crimes enforcement. As far as I know, from what I have heard and all that, it just have to do if you were the depends like if you were the owner. All of that basically saying your company is legal. I have my form pulled up right now. As far as I know, you don't have to keep updating it, but I mean they might change that on a year by year. I'm not sure. I'd have to talk to my accountant too, because she's the one that told me. She's like, hey, make sure you do this in 2024 before you get to 2025.
Alex, you said you think it's going to be on hold. I just don't see any reason to do it if I'm a sole proprietorship and I don't need to. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
I have no clue about how it works.
I was just told by my accountant that I need to do this, and I said, okay, I guess I'm doing this. So,
Godly Shad, what's up?
Yo, what's up, guys?
Too much, man. What's on your mind tonight, bro?
Nothing really, honestly. Just the market's crazy right now. I'm loving it. It's fun.
You get rid of any more cool cards before consulting?
Actually, I did. I just sold two more cards.
Which ones?
I sold. I'm just getting my light on. I sold a Shining Kabutops, and then I sold the Skyward Celebi.
First then Shining Kabutops?
Yeah.
PSA 10?
Both 10s, yeah.
Why do you hate me, bro?
Yeah, I'm actually I'm doing a leave of absence, so I'm not working for 4 months, so I needed some money.
Oh, that's one of the ones I needed, Chad.
What are you doing that for? Just cuz?
No, school.
Ah.
Yeah. Like a pre-master's program.
Oh. That's one of the ones I needed, Chad. What are you doing to me, bro? Come on.
Yeah, you could have offered up. Do you not have my Instagram?
No, I don't.
Posting that thing daily.
Let me go find
Honestly, I made a mistake. I should have just sent it to ZNG. His prices are just absurd. Oh my god, yeah.
I'm about to send him a stack of stuff too. Oh, there you are. Hello.
Yeah. But he helped me out because that Celebi I've been trying to sell for a while now.
Well, you have a
And then
sales page now too. Oh God.
I do, but I don't really use it. But yeah, he auctioned the Celebi and it went for 3.2. And then I was trying to sell it for 2.7. Then I had a bunch of people message me after, be like, "Yo, I'll buy it for 2.7." I'm like, "Okay."
I'm about ready to
Sure.
send in my BGS Moonbreon. It's getting so stupid now. Prices are. It's like, God.
Yeah, that'll do well. The modern stuff does really well.
Prices
Yeah, I
are
mean,
thinking-
here's the thing: it's like you never know when the tops of cards are going to be, and it's just like I always, I mean, I know it like always it sucks when you see them go higher, but I always like the idea if it is something you really want to sell, like sell while it's on the way up, while everyone wants it, while the liquidity's there. Like the last thing you want to do is watch it go over the hill and be on the way down and be like playing that game like as people are undercutting each other on the way down and get caught in that mess. So I mean, even if you did hit the top, who cares? Same thing with buying; you're never going to hit the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
what
I
do
sold
you
my
guys,
Fusion Strike for 200
what's
cash, and now it's 300, and I'm kicking myself a little bit, but I mean, I bought
But
Paldea
what'd you
Evolved.
get with it?
Paldea Evolved. I bought that in March, and now it was like 95 a box or whatever, 90 a box. So
About the same.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
about the
There's only 15 box listings Fusion
Yeah.
Strike left online on TCG Player. It's been moving fast. I can't believe how fast it's going. It'll be 400 before we know it.
yeah,
what do you guys like? What are you guys doing for plays now? I mean, I almost feel like this is so. Almost these conversations are almost kind of boring now because it's like, what are you gonna? Everything's going up, so.
I'm just holding cash right now.
Like, what are you? It's like easy mode right now. I personally think the Crown Zenith singles; those are things I've made plays in, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, is there anything that?
But I feel like even those have already moved.
Okay. Yeah, they have. Yeah, they have. But I mean, I think we got room to run, honestly.
Yeah, I think Crown Zenith is a good one because I think was it March Crown Zenith and Silver Tempest fully rotate out on the current meta for Pokemon for the TCG for the actual game, and then at that point that's why I think this latest Crown Zenith run was the last of Crown Zenith because I don't think they're going to go back and reprint Yellow Borders.
I just went
for
and
anymore.
bought a ton of the Leafeon V-Star and Glaceon V-Stars because the second that Prismatic releases, those things are going to go up. They already are.
God, Prismatic.
But they're in the 20s now. They're beautiful cards, and they're going to go up when all these other EVs come out.
Prismatic is such a shit show right now.
The other thing is I still think like Charizard V, you guys were asking what I was selling before, like I have a bunch of those in PSA 10. By a bunch, I mean like 4 or 5, but I'm not selling them because I think they're undervalued. And
The boxes or the promos?
No, well the promos, I'm talking about like the alt art.
Oh,
Brilliant
the alt
Charizard
art.
one.
Yeah. I think you meant the Charizard UPC promo.
But yeah, I mean those Charizard UV promos actually have a great value. But
I think too the run up right now seems a lot more organic than the one in March. Like the prices in March kind of just went boop and then kind of went down. This one is like everything's going up, but it's kind of just more like steadily going up, and I like that a lot more. It makes me feel a lot more confident if I'm going to buy now than like back in March. I was like, this is a little just too a little parabolic for me. So, but yeah, it's nice now.
Yeah.
The fact that it spread across a lot of other stuff, it felt for a while like it was hyper focused on surging and 151 and maybe like 1 or 2 other things and evolving. And the fact that it's a little bit of everything, the fact that surging like hasn't gone to 250 already, I think like I get people who are disappointed by that who wanted to make the plays, but I actually think that's better longer term.
Yeah. Well, surging's doing really well. It's really nice to see not like everyone just piling onto one set. It's been things are a lot more
doubled my
spread
money
around.
in a month. Like
yeah,
essentially doubled my money. Like I was sending people the $600 cases, like and telling people to buy it.
Dude,
I was like, this is gonna be a big set. I mean, People have been waiting for this type of set for like a year. It was like a literal no-brainer, I think,
Yeah,
to buy that.
that's why I sold mine, except for my like personal ones for myself, because it's like, oh, I'd rather I value the zero cost basis into the remaining cases I have for
I mean,
for longer
that's
term.
something I got wrong. I mean, so far at least, I truly thought they would have ran higher by now, but you know, it's like it's one of those things where it's like you get it wrong, but you're still fine. Like, you know, it's not as high as I thought it would be, but
Every time it tries to make a run, Ethan lists 6 more boxes. So that's the issue.
What is big?
Tanking the price.
oh, you know what? This maxes out at 10 people.
Did you want Connor? Did you want me to list all my cases at once? I only listed like
Do
3
it.
to 6
Flush the
boxes
market
at a
out, man.
time.
Just flush it out instead of dripping it out technically like you are.
Well,
List them all.
I've actually
Do what
dripped.
Anon did and just list them like 10% under market.
I have
They'll
actually
sell off in
finally.
like 30 seconds.
I've actually went through and dripped out all of my surging. I actually don't think I have any left except for my personal long-term ones. I am out completely.
Hey, whoever's trying to join, really sorry. So we maxed out at 10 people. I can't let anyone else on screen. StreamYard's maxed out at that. I'd have to like pay.
Come on, man. You need to upgrade.
Wait, somebody just left. So whoever just left, you better get back, or the other person can get in. We have one spot. Look at the Fernando.
The Fernando
Take
face.
that shit off.
All right.
No, I'm joking.
Dude, Mark's the best, man. What's up, dude?
What's up, bro? How you guys doing?
How you been, man?
I've been good. Just chilling. Not been paying attention much to Pokemon outside of catching some Walmart drops, but sorry, 1 second. Watching the Chargers right now. Anyone Chargers?
Yeah. I was watching that game anyways.
I need to check my fantasy actually.
Yeah, I'm out of playoffs.
Sure.
It doesn't bother me.
That's fair.
Yeah.
What is it? Chargers.
No larger than 4 megabytes. Is my picture of my driver's license too big? What is the problem?
I wonder when some of these Scarlet Violet era SIRs, I wonder when those become like pickups and grading plays and holds.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. Like, I look through it. Like some of them, there's not as much liquidity, but it also feels like some of them are expensive just for.
The
Magic. If you're going to be selling anything right now, or like maybe that's the play is to like flip, the second tier Paldea Evolved IRs.
Just get the Magikarp. That's all you need.
They are. It's just it's a tough thing to do because the thing is, with like some of these Sword and Shield alt arts, the gem rate is high enough that you can just buy them and you have a pretty good 10 rate. The Scarlet Violet things are, unless you're buying them in person or whatever, they are just really tough with the print quality.
Yeah.
Some of the new ones are better, but even like with some of the ones I bought, the centering will be off and everything. It's just like, it's not worth, like, you definitely can't do the TCG player, just buy like 10 copies and like grade 5 of them or whatever, because you just get them all in. They're all not 10 quality. So it's really tough.
Yeah.
Certainly if you buy enough of them, you will, you'll be able to grade some, but almost some of them, the play might be buying the PSA 10 graded and holding it.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. Like, a lot of these are like $50, $60, $70 PSA 10s, and they're like sometimes the second, third, fourth best hits in the set, and they're popular. I mean, somewhat popular species, I guess, for newer species, but it's starting to like, at least get me interested, especially seeing everything else go up so much. Even the boxes are going up in Scarlet and Violet, but a lot of the singles have not really moved yet, except some of the top ones. So it's an interesting play I've been thinking about.
I like the Roaring Moon and Iron Valiant from Paradox Rift. I still think, because those ones are actually pretty hard to hit too. Like, those ones are like 1 in 700 to get a specific SIR. So I mean, it takes quite a lot of boxes to open to actually get those hits. So I do like those ones. I've been trying to pick up a lot of Morning Moon.
I, for instance, bought a bunch of UPC promos, graded PSA 10 for like $70. I bought like 10 of them, just because they have like a 20% 10 rate. I mean, like that's
The 151.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
052 Mewtwo, 052, like the skyscraper one.
Bro, I got a 6 on
That
one of my
Mewtwo's so
Mewtwo's.
sick.
Yeah, they're tough. I mean, I've tried to.
Crazy.
I bought a bunch of raw copies too. I have like a whole box full of raw copies, and I graded like 2 or 3 of them, and they were 10s. But I had to buy like 100 copies. You don't even find gradable.
I just did that with the Metal Muse, so hopefully they. I think about 70 of them. So we'll see.
Yeah, the Metal Muse were a little different. Those are a little easier to grade.
Yeah, I was looking. They're going for like 60 to 70 buy it now, and I paid $450, I think, because the guy had like 60 of them. But so he charged like $15 shipping on it, so no one bought them. But we'll see how it goes. It's gonna take 2 months. Speaking of, who's got the longest sub out for value and or bulk? Anyone got like a PSA sub that's like super long on time?
I have been out of the PSA game for a second.
I submitted like 60 cards to PSA in the beginning of November. It arrived there November 7th. They didn't get inputted into their system until December 6th. It's
That's
a month
right
to
around
put it
me
into their
too.
system.
Is that value or bulk?
Huh?
Was that value or bulk?
Bulk.
Damn, dude,
How large are the orders are?
8 cards. It's 8
It was when it was about
Magneton
60
promos.
cards.
8 cards?
It's just
Yeah.
8 Magneton promos. I've
It's
just been waiting.
really backed up right now.
Oh,
apparently.
not the Magneton promos. That
I
sucks.
got my PC ETBs the day the set came out, and I sent it out that same day, priority mail, with a couple other Magnetons at like the higher level. Those finished in like 4 days, and these 8 are just sitting.
Yeah,
Who's
that's
that?
I have no idea who that is.
Tyrannus, he's the one that did the big Magneton play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he flipped those too. He's established such a good market price that I can just take mine to GameStop and sell them for $240 cash. They're already buying them.
That's disgusting.
It's pretty crazy. He literally like basically created the market price.
That's great.
I'd be careful. What I would say, if talking about plays, is those Surging Sparks PC ETBs. I mean, those. I know Ethan sold a bunch for really good prices pre-order, but they dropped down to like 90 or something, or 100, and I think they might be at 110 or 120 now. But like those things are gonna run just as much as any of these other ones. So
What did I
Don't
sell?
tell me. I opened like 7 cases of them. Don't tell me that.
yeah, like, I wouldn't crack anymore at this point. 'Cause
I ordered 8 cases. I opened 8 cases.
Connor, what
That's
did I sell? I can't. Didn't hear.
I
what
thought
said.
you sold some of the PC TVs for like 160 or 170.
Oh yeah, on pre-sale. Yeah,
Yeah, and then it went
I
down
sold
to, like,
most.
90.
Sold over half mine on pre-sale.
Yeah, then they went down to like 90 once they came out, and now they're at 110 or 120. I can't remember.
Ethan,
120.
you can pre-sale.
On TCG Player, yes.
So, how much would it take for you to pre-sale my 2 PC ETBs for Prismatic? And then I'll
For
send it to
Prismatic,
you.
you can
That's
do it
a
if you
good
want.
idea.
I have
If
my
you want,
pre-order. It's only
I'll send
2.
mine, too.
And like, obviously, I would
If
you
you-
could keep the money, and if you didn't want to give it to me, I wouldn't send you the PC ETBs. So kind of no risk. But I would appreciate it, because I definitely would just prefer to buy a bunch of EVs.
Just
with
message
that
me
one.
on Discord, and we can set something
Thanks,
up.
bro.
I have no problem with doing it.
You know?
As long as it's confirmed that you're getting it. That's the main
Oh yeah,
thing.
for sure. I'll send you the receipts and stuff.
Yeah.
I got real confirmed pre-orders, man. It's okay.
I have 10 confirmed.
Oh,
pre-orders.
Alex, did you see that ZNG posted about the Gengar that they sold one for $1,000? That's
Dude,
disgusting.
James is like, it's so funny because I know him.
Fiend.
When he posts those, I can just like picture him. He's so salty when he has to post those modern cards, and usually he'll even leave like some half-ass compliment, and it's like, for some reason, he hates it so much that modern cards rise in value.
It kills them inside. Posting
It's
that,
hilarious,
going.
man.
But then when he makes the vintage post, you can tell.
And what's funny is it makes him more money.
Yeah.
Speaking
Like,
of
it's better
money,
for him.
you guys are sending your cards to Z, right? Like, it's unfucking. Like, he's paid me
I'm about-
$4,000 in the last month just
Yeah.
on slaps. Like, it's unbelievable. He sold my Giratina in less than 24 hours for $11.50, I think, and it's crazy how quickly that shit moves.
I'm debating if I'm gonna send him stuff for buy it now or offer because I have like a couple. Like,
Dude, in this market, auction it.
Yeah, the
Just have him auction it.
And then
Unless if it's under 100, then don't obviously. But anything over 100, just auction it.
These are all over 100. So.
I'll buy it from you if it goes to below market.
Yeah, I know, right? That damn BGS card. Gross.
I mean, dude, everything's just kind of in motion. Like the PSA game, the sealed game. Like it doesn't matter which era you're in, modern, vintage. Like everything's just.
We're not even.
It's weird because your mind immediately goes to, oh man, this is like COVID, but then at the same time, it's just like we're not having something drive it like COVID. Like we don't have all these celebrities coming out of the woodwork. Yep. We don't have everyone stuck at home. We don't have free money from the government. We don't have anything that we had last time. So I'm not saying that we're not going to have a cooling off period at some point in the future. I just don't know if we're going to have a massive crash because it just seems so much more organic.
We need Taylor Swift opening Pokemon cards.
Oh, God.
Just think.
Yeah. Hey, and I got to say, the rip and ships are definitely helping.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that is driving this hobby right now, no matter what anyone wants to say.
We're not even to tax season yet.
I'm in my tax season right now, trying to figure out this thing. So
your Nexus
sales tax season,
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Hey, sorry, you go.
Yeah. Go.
No. I talked a bunch.
And just like when you think about like what's gonna like happen next with the market or whatever else, like I do think at some point the flippers are going to get less profitable. People are going to realize that like 10-15% margins, it's really painful. Like you got on a 15% margin, 10-15% margin, you got to sell like $300,000. It's like $1,000 a day to make a $50K annual salary. And so I think like that will slow down at some point, which will be nice because the bots will go away.
Oh yeah.
And so you would see slower price appreciation at that point. But I don't see, and I tend to be super nervous, and I don't have something that's like, oh, like this is all gonna tank. I don't see something, but maybe all of us being bullish is the reason that it is gonna drop 20-30%.
But even
20-30% isn't that worrisome though.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
20-30% on when stuff has gone up how much is not really that big of
I mean, you got to remember during the pandemic, like some of that stuff dropped 80%.
Yeah. But modern didn't it? Like, yeah. And even like never really dropped at all.
Yeah.
It was. I feel like it was a different time though, right? Like now, I feel like everything has changed. I know we always say that, but like with this new hype, like there's no reason when the pandemic was happening that I feel like the market crashing in the pandemic made sense, but like I don't feel like a pump, right? Like it just feels like everyone fucking wants Prismatic as much as they can. And like if 151 were to tank 50%, it's not even below MSRP. Like I hope it tanks.
Well, here, let's say this. Since they always compare Moonbryon to Charizard, right? Not saying Moonbryon's not overran right now, but a $2,000 PSA 10 Moonbryon feels a whole lot more healthy than a 7,000 PSA 9 base set Charizard. Right?
Agreed. Yeah, I mean,
the unlimited base set Charizard hit highs of like $6,000 to $7,000 during the pandemic. Like that seems way crazier than a Moonbryon running to 2,000 in a PSA 10.
Yeah, you're right. Wasn't there like non-hollow EVs going for like 500?
Oh my gosh! Yeah, the Jungle Pikachu, Jungle Eevee, like
that's fucking crazy.
But even just like modern like basic Vs were going for like $40-$50.
Get out of here! Like a V card, like a 35% V card.
People were sending all their bulk to PSA.
Well, the problem with at that time was you couldn't actually get like the turnover time for PSA was like a year and a half.
Yeah,
right.
Right.
Like if you happen to have the full art V card, graded as a 10, I mean, the top was low because like they were all bottlenecked at PSA. So it was a different situation now. The market is more I guess when you're talking about like efficient markets and stuff, the market is more efficient than it was during COVID. Because it wasn't really, you weren't getting true price optimization of a PSA 10 of X card because they were all bottlenecked at PSA, and then they all came to market and it just went down like you would expect when you get more supply.
But the
I mean, the
fact that
market's more
anybody even
mature now
wanted
too.
Any of that stuff was crazy to me.
Yeah.
And the market's more mature. We have more people in here that have like built, like higher positions in Pokemon, larger collections. They have more, unrealized gains, which makes you a little more comfortable with taking more risks, with things going up and down. Which like there's always new people getting in the hobby all the time, but I just feel like we've created a large enough base now where there's not as much, like kind of turbulence as there used to be.
Yeah, 2020 didn't have the rip and shipper impact as it does nowadays, which makes things a lot more healthier too.
Who's
and didn't have the Pokemon investment channels. I mean, when I got in the hobby, it was basically SM Pratt and Rudy. Like there was Pokemon channels, but there wasn't investing channels. Like, so I feel like people that find the hobby eventually get exposed to channels like mine and all these other channels, or Danny, and so like they're more aware, I think, of the market and all these things than people were back in like 2016 to 21.
What I think one of the main things, what I feel right now is happening more is like 2020. Basically, people were just throwing their money at almost anything and everything. Basically, throwing it at the kitchen sink and see what sticks. People are being a lot more intentional with what they're putting it towards nowadays, which is good. Like you're not seeing the random auxiliary products like skyrocketing to like astronomical highs, and then like people are wondering why they're not moving and all that. It's things are very intentional what people are putting money towards stuff nowadays comparatively, which is good. I mean, you don't just see people losing their shit.
Yeah, and then you can take isolated instance and say like, this card or this set is like overran or overvalued right now. It ran up too much. Like I'm cool with that for sure. But it's like when you look at everything, like I'm not going to look at Paradox Rift and be like, oh, that's way overvalued. It's like, no, it's a pretty good set. It's been sitting around $80 to $100 for a while. It ran up $20. Big deal. Like, normal.
Yeah, we're not seeing like bulk getting ran up and all that. Like people, like I said, people are being more intentional with what they're putting their money towards. Like you're actually seeing stuff that, did this go up higher than it probably should? Probably, but I mean, it's gone up.
Yeah.
But it's something that people actually want.
Right.
So with grading slowing down so much
with Prismatic, I mean, you're seeing some of it. It's getting
Prismatic is
it's getting a little frothy, and
that one is getting frothy. That one is. I'm not looking forward to Prismatic.
Mark, what were you guys say?
So I wasn't back into Pokemon until like Scarlet Violet Base came out. Let's talk about a good time to get back in. But when the pandemic was going on, how was like the lead up to PSA's bottleneck? Like, is it something that like, is this the first stage? Because then what? We're going to go to Terrestrial Festival, getting their cards sent to PSA now. In 3 weeks, we have the biggest set, arguably, in the last 3-4 years coming out. Like, is PSA going to just get bottled up again? Like,
things are different this time. They have 2 offices this time. They've seen it before. Where I think that the first time they had never seen anything like this, and they were like scrambling to get together. So I don't think it's going to get that bad again.
Yeah.
Them opening up Prismatic comes out. What do you guys? If you guys have 10 contenders that are SIRs, not the IRs or whatever, the Master Balls, or I guess Master Balls too.
I'm going to buy 1,000 Moonbreons.
No, are you sending everything at value then, knowing that PSA is going to be at least a month at that point minimum for bulk?
If you're trying to like make the fast grading play, I think the $40 tier needs to be the tier.
Yeah, agreed. At minimum, yeah.
Like there are from Sword and Shield base, the Celebi V there are 493 of those graded. Like I don't think we'll ever see that. Like no one's going to send that kind of stuff back into PSA.
You wouldn't think so.
You wouldn't think so. You never know. But like I'm scrolling through this pop report and there's just like people sent everything in.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to look right now. Okay.
But wouldn't you, right? Like if
But at the
prices were
time,
like that.
yeah. But I just don't think that there's like to the more mature market and everything else. Like I don't think that that's gonna happen. I don't think it's gonna happen like that again.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that value plus. I think value plus is probably what I would use for grading on Prismatic if you're going for something.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And the thing about it too is like it's 2020. Yeah, like what Alex said, they didn't have both offices open, but you also had a lot of Japanese and all people and all that were also funneling it over to the States to go to PSA. Now that they have one open in Japan as well, I mean, they've hired a lot more people since then. I don't think we're going to see a craze. I mean, people are also aren't sending in bulk like they used to back in 2020.
Was someone saying that like if you do the $40 though, you can actually get like California to grade it as opposed to getting sent to New Jersey?
I think that's just conjecture or whatever. I've sent at every tier and gotten New Jersey, I've sent small, big, and for me, I couldn't find it because obviously I would want to because my New Jersey gem rate is literally a fifth of my California, but I wasn't able to find anything.
Because I literally live like 15 minutes. I could walk to the Santa Ana headquarters, and the last thing I sent in, like they got it received, and then it was just pending, and they shipped it across the country.
Business is super efficient.
Yeah.
So how's everyone's Prismatic looking? I mean, Ethan, you can't even talk. I know you probably have like 1 million cases coming. So
no, I don't. I have very little. Unfortunately.
What is very little to you?
I'm only getting 10 ETB cases.
Oh wow.
That is all I was guaranteed. They're trying.
Crazy.
I am trying to get more, but I am guaranteed 10. That is what I am guaranteed. So, yay!
What about everybody else?
I got nothing
to get my 0.
But GameStop pre-orders. I mean, I'm not kidding. I probably have like $7,000 of pre-orders on GameStop, but who knows if those will come through.
The Walmart pre-orders last weekend were nice.
What are your guys like plays? Are you just gonna flip the sealed or?
I already pre-sold 2 cases on eBay for $1,100 and $1,000, so I'm gonna sell those 2 obviously if I get them. Fingers crossed. But
Oh, dude, don't be one of those guys.
I'm gonna be one of those guys. Are you kidding me, dude? GameStop has never canceled on my orders yet, and I know
Dude, they've been canceling on people all the time. What are you talking about?
I've never ever had an order canceled, and like I feel like the only people that get their order canceled are just bots or people that try to do 20 orders in one day. Like I spaced out all of my orders at least a day. Like it was on GameStop for a solid 2 weeks, and I mean I check every day. We're coming up on the set, but no, I'll definitely have to. I'm not going to not send it, right? I'm going to have to spend up on it if I don't get it. But I mean, if I get it, that's a free ETB case already.
I can't wait for Mark to message me. Ethan, they canceled my order. Do you have any ETB cases left? You can.
I already messaged the guy and I'm like, here's my phone number. Here's my email. I'll buy you the case if I don't get it. Not the case, just 10 ETBs. But I mean, I don't see a problem with that. If like you're a good person and you're going to honor it no matter what, I'll take 600.
I agree. I just don't know if you're a good person or not.
That's besides the point, Alex.
Seems like no.
Yeah, no.
It's if you're only selling a few, it's not a big deal. You'll find that many.
Yeah.
Oh, I have another listed.
What's that?
I had like 80 ETBs ordered, so like if it happens, it happens.
80.
Alex, I actually sent you a DM of all my orders because I think we were chatting a couple weeks ago.
Oh, a while ago?
Yeah, no, just our last DM in Discord. I think it's just a screenshot of my the GameStop pre-orders.
You monster, I love it.
What about anyone else?
I'm moving all mine. I'd rather have the booster bundle cases, honestly. So like the ETB ones I'm moving. And right now, like for what cost is at distro compared to what they're going for now, I can't say no. Like
I pre-ordered everything. I have no idea what I'm getting. I just threw in a ton of orders with my distro. I threw in a ton of orders with Eli. I've been picking up the Walmart releases. I don't even know how much I'm gonna have. That's my honest answer. I just been saying yes to everything.
But you need it for your breaks too. So
I'm not gonna have enough. Like think about this. This is why specialty sets suck. If I get 10 cases, let's just say 10, like Ethan, 10 cases, that's 900 packs.
Yeah.
Like I go through 900 packs in a week.
It's going to be brutal for you
Yeah.
for this set
Well,
for
so,
break.
but that's the thing I've been wondering is like, I get it's going to be brutal for you up front. It's going to be brutal for the stores because everything like what Mason's like, you know, like the pizza pie getting sliced up smaller, like it's going to be really tough. I get all of that. But do we really think that, you know, that in 9 months, 7 months, 8 months,
No.
I'm not going to be able to find it. We're not going to be able to find it for 50, 60.
I think you will be able to find it. Maybe not the specific products, like maybe booster bundles will be hard to get or something like that, but there will definitely be packs and they will not be $12.
I think
Which
the
is why I will
initial
sell everything I get.
the problem
Yeah,
the
Jesse's
problem
right
is the
though. Look at
initial.
151.
Yeah.
It could be a 151 situation for a little bit. Honestly, with how the market is, I don't even know anymore. I honestly, I
151
can't.
had ETBs
Just
for
don't know.
less than
$40.
$50 for a long
No, it's
time.
40.
No,
I
they
got it
did,
from
but we're in a
Game Nerds.
different market now. We don't know how long this so-called bull run is going to last.
The
Right?
problem will
Everything was
be
cheap then.
yeah. The problem will be the initial wave, just because that'll be the shortest one. Just because initial is the PC is not PCB, the regular ETBs. That's not really like good pack like amounts compared to like booster bundles and all that later on. And I think what booster bundles aren't out until what, March?
Yeah,
I recall. So it's like
January.
January and like part of February might get a little sketch, a little fun. But I think over time it'll level
It should smooth
might
out,
level
yeah.
out a little bit. But the initial part, January and probably I'd say February are probably gonna be pretty nasty.
Yeah.
For Prismatic.
Well, then
It's
we
gonna
have Team Rocket. I think Team Rocket will still be the craziest. Even if it's specialty set, booster box, I still think Team Rocket will be the craziest set. Just with how much nostalgia it can bring to the market too. You'll have so many people coming back for that set.
Yeah.
It'll be crazy.
I agree. Simon, how you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, fellas? First time on here.
Appreciate you joining, dude. This
going on,
is
Simon?
kind of all we do is just hang out and talk shop, man. If you got any topics you want to throw in, feel free.
No, I just appreciate it, Alex. I mean, I've been following you since OPO1. I followed your play.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I followed your play from that, and
Did you get in on some of those?
I got a couple cases in after you. I made a good decent chunk.
I love it.
Yeah, man, and I mean, I've been collecting sealed Pokemon since 2019. And I just, I've been just buying it, storing it, buying it, storing it.
So you hit the boom then? Nice.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm just, it's like, it's sitting here, just, I'm not planning to, I think if anything, like right now with the market the way it is, like, Prismatic, I have like 15K pre-ordered. More than likely, except for the PC ETBs, I'm going to flip everything, those are like the short-term plays for me. Like over the course of 9 months, when things get restocked, eventually I'll start grabbing some more cases and stuff, storing them away as time passes for a little bit. But I mean, I've been hearing you guys talk about Prismatic. I mean, definitely that's like a short-term play for me. So
it's kind of crazy. It's like it's talking against like myself and other creators, but it's just like really it's so simple. It's just like, look, buy into each set. Some sets are going to sit there for a while. Sometimes we're going to be in a bull market and things are going to rise and you're going to be able to cash in right away and take some quick profits. Other sets you're going to have to hold for 6 months, a year or whatever. Right, it's just like, it's almost like, I mean, it's very hard to lose as long as you have the money to sit on and as long as you capitalize on opportunities when they're there.
Yeah, for sure.
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy that we've created this market where it's like, it truly is that easy. It's almost because I get the feeling too good to be true, but I think it's just a lot of us don't realize it's like we are such a small like nucleus in this hobby, whereas like the majority of the people are still consuming this product and they're still just regular customers, and like that's what we need to remind ourselves of once in a while.
I agree.
That's awesome though, man. 2019, so you've seen some stuff too.
Yeah, no, I've been through the whole COVID boom and I've seen the ups, I've seen the crash. Like, just, like what you say, Alex, is just like you just block the noise out, do what you need to do, sit on them, just, let time pass and let just time do its thing pretty much at the end of the day. So
Yeah, I mean,
I've
at
been
this point,
following.
we've seen so much. Like the biggest thing I can remember of this year, I feel like, is that's the CT scanning. You know, people thought that was the end of the hobby.
Yeah, not here.
I
I saw the comments, people panicking, and it's the end of the world. It's the end of collecting, and
They thought it was.
oh,
It was like everybody's gotcha moment. Like, all you sealed investors are going to lose all your money.
So do we think Prismatic's going to be? I can't see a world where it's not Crown Zenith, right? Like pull rates. Like Pokemon would not put 32 SIRs in a set and make it 1 in 60 packs. Like that just doesn't. Like I cannot. It's not plausible.
You would think, but who knows?
But like, have they ever done something like
That
that?
would
Like
be
even
insane.
a Moonbryon. Like how many alts were in Evolving Skies? Like wouldn't that make it like at least twice as hard to pull a specific card than any Umbreon? If there's 32,
Pokemon's about to look at Mark and say, "Hold my beer."
I hope they do, dude. That would be insane. But I just can't see it not being Crown Zenith and just hits galore, especially if the Japanese was. Has there ever been a set where Japanese pull rates were different as far as like not seeding, but you know what I mean? Like where you can clearly see this evolution set is juiced. Are there any like where it's juiced in Japanese, but English is just shitty pull rates? Like, what is that other one? V-Star VMAX Climax? Like, was that the same type of set as Prismatic?
Yes.
Which was Crown Zenith, I believe, our Crown Zenith?
No, V-Star Universe.
V-Star
V-Star
So
Universe.
was V-Star Universe just as, like, you got a bunch of hits every set or every box?
Hey, guys.
Yes, you're guaranteed one.
Yeah.
Live on screen. We just hit it.
Oh, no way. Oh,
We hit the 20K.
Nice. Congratulations.
Awesome.
We hit
Everyone
the
here?
milestone.
I say
Everyone
crack a
here?
beer, but I know you don't drink.
Everyone unsubscribe right now, so you push them back under.
I'll rip your pack.
Push it back.
See if we get a. See if we
Dude,
get
that
a,
was happening when I had the sub count on the live pack breaks. People would do that. They would see it going up, and then I would see like 10 people go down. It's so funny.
Was that your goal this year, Alex?
What's that?
Was that your goal this year to hit 20K?
Yeah, I was like, it wasn't like until like, I don't know, a couple months ago, and I kind of like did the math and I figured out it was possible, and that's why like I really grinded this month, and I was doing the sponsored box breaks and like just trying to pump out as much content as possible. It was a good goal. It was a good year.
I noticed your subscriptions, like your subscribers were going up a lot. Like I feel like you went from 10K to 20K like really quick.
Yeah, I mean, you know, YouTube's all about consistency. I got a lot more consistent, is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, the truth is, other people could do it if they wanted to put in the effort and post more. You know.
You must please the
What a humble man.
I wouldn't say that.
What'd you say?
What a humble man.
I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, I there's a
You
lot
have
of
the
bad
personality
content out
for
there.
it, for sure.
Yeah.
Remember when I called it?
Man, what else is gone? It does suck though. It's like we go in these cycles where there's like a million things to like play and talk about, and it's almost like I don't have enough money to do all the things I want to do. And then you go through these kind of times where it's just like, I don't know if anything is really screaming. It's like, I guess this is a play. That's kind of a play, but it's like there's nothing that's really standing out right now as like an obvious play anymore. It feels like.
Yeah.
Shot at table.
I mean, like Connor was saying earlier, I mean, I do think some of those Crown Zenith cards, I think those are
Right
good
by all the
plays. Like,
side of
obviously, the
table.
alt arts have been good plays. Like, I definitely think early in the year when we start getting these new products and some of these reprints, and like, I think there's going to open up a lot of plays there. It's just, you know, we're kind of like in a holding pattern for a couple months, it seems like. I mean, it's like I'm holding everything I have. It's just, I'm not like deploying large amounts into sets or cards right now because it's just, I don't know. Seems risky.
Yeah, I think in this market is, if anything, I think the smart thing is to sell, like, you know, even slabs or something. You know, I don't think it's not time to accumulate for sure. I mean, it's just, you know,
You
there
have to sell
hasn't been any
eventually,
Scarlet Violet
right?
reprints. We don't know. There's no historical kind of, you know, there hasn't been one yet. We don't know what that'll look like. Also,
Right.
So it's just kind of like you said, Alex. I think it's like, for me, I'm pre-ordering Prismatic, but that's it. I haven't done any plays or anything like that. So
it's gonna be interesting. Prismatic's gonna be very interesting.
I'm excited.
I think we're just getting started too. I think 2025 will be a big year for the TCG.
If we have another year like this, I mean, I don't even know what heights we can get to. If the bull market stays this strong for a year straight in 2025, that's gonna be scary.
Well, but the crazy thing is so like it's been a bull market pretty much the whole year, but at the same time, you could buy. I bought Paldea Evolved back in January, super cheap.
Yeah.
I loaded up on Temporal, Twilight, all of that stuff, June, July, August. To your buddy saying, how do you deploy 50K? Oh, if he had been around 6 months ago, he could just like that.
That's what I told him, yeah.
Yeah. It was too easy a year ago.
And even like at the beginning of November, like the first week in November, like the bots hadn't showed up yet, and you could like pre-order Prismatic at like a leisurely pace, like stuff sold out. But like, and then it went hyperbolic, which was bad. And now it feels less hyperbolic, which is good. And that, but it's like, yeah, it's been a bull market for a year, but it had like no one's really acknowledged it was a bull market until like the last 3 months.
I mean, even 151 was very attainable multiple times in the market.
Last year was so easy. I bought a bunch of I think Flipside Gaming last year. I think they had like 340 for a case of UPCs, and I loaded up on them last November. It was too easy.
Yeah, well,
too easy.
I was in the chat saying that I never picked up the Costco UPCs because I figured they were going to show up in SoCal. I don't think they ever did, but I thought like, oh, I've got all this time. Like eventually they will, and then everything's just
No, I hear you. I'm on the same page. I get it. It's just plays disappear quick in this market. I mean, I remember. So I do remember when we were going through all the craze of the Pokemon Center stuff selling out, like. When Brilliant Stars and Fusion Strike, all that stuff was selling on Pokemon Center, that was like a big rush and a big like boom, and like everyone was freaking out about that. But that was like really isolated. After that happened, they kind of stagnated, and then nothing else really ran after that. It was a really isolated incident.
Was that this year?
It was. Yeah.
Or maybe late last year, early this year.
No, I think you're all right. Yeah, it was like Jan, Feb. Yeah,
it was like March. Yep.
Right around there.
Yeah, because Chilling went it was like Chilling went first, and everyone started freaking out about that, and then it was Fusion, and then it was that's right.
Yeah, then Astral went out, and then everyone like lost their minds. So it was like, wait a minute, Astral's out. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it's been an exciting year. I don't know. That's why I just wanted to have more of that conversation about selling. I mean, honestly, like the majority of emails I've been getting throughout the week is like asking me about selling this or selling that, and I'm just like, sell to do what? You know, like that's always my answer. It's like It's like if you sell one thing, it's almost like the real estate market. Do you sell your house where it's worth more? Or you just go buy a house that's also worth more. It's the same thing. It's just like, well, if I sell a product that went up in value, I'm just buying another product that also went up in value. It's just like, what's the difference?
Yeah, I agree. I think the only buys are the 151 drops at MSRP and pre-order Prismatic at MSRP. For me,
and obviously, grading cards, they're killing.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, like that's what, like if you to Simon's point, if you've got slabs, I feel like some of those are, especially when I look at like some of the less popular species of IRs, those feel pricey. Be a good time to sell.
Yeah.
I mean, vintage is doing good. I mean, here, Godly Shag can tell you all his vintage sales. Like, I know base set booster boxes, I think they're like getting close to 20K again. Those were down in the low teens, like low.
Oh, you can get those for 12K all day. Wow, I didn't realize that they were almost hitting 20K.
Yeah, it's just kind of it's across the whole market right now. People are looking for value anywhere they can find it.
Yeah, I bought some Team Rocket cards just for the anticipation of the Team Rocket set coming out. We'll see how it goes. I felt like they were cheap anyway, so.
The Team Rocket thing makes no sense to me. Like, I thought we would see a similar move in some of the vintage Team Rocket cards that we saw with the XY when the Mega Evolution thing got announced. and it just seems like it's not happening yet. So maybe it'll happen closer to when Team Rocket actually comes. What?
I just said vintage sucks. That's why.
The Zard has gone up though. To be
Whoa,
fair,
whoa.
not
Get a little
the 10s, though,
spicy.
Alex. The 9s have gone up. The 9s, I could get the Dark Charizard for like $650. Now they're auctioning for $950.
So 50%.
That's a decent amount. Yeah, that's good for a year.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Mark keeps up with these spicy.
But I
takes
definitely
and
think
they
that's
take
just
them
people
offline.
speculating, though. I don't think that's really as organic, I think people are just kind of just doing what I'm doing, just buying it for the Team Rocket.
Yeah. I mean, either way,
Okay.
it's still appreciation.
Yep.
Wild,
Jesse,
man.
what's up?
So
I'm
Ethan,
trying to
would you say
survive.
you got? What's up?
I know. Fernando said, "What's up?" I said, "I'm trying to survive."
Oh, man, everyone's sick, dude. I was sick for a
Damn.
good month, too.
Dude,
I
I
just
can't
can't
kick
find
it.
the
Like
kids.
I feel good, but my voice will not come back.
I just got back from California, and between the smog and I'm sure I caught something that was out there, it was like 2 or 3 days. I'm just like, whoa.
Yeah, this flu kicked my ass way more than COVID did. I had COVID, I was good like within 4 days. This one, good 3 weeks, I was out.
3 weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel you, man. I feel your pain.
It
Mark,
wasn't like I was like dead in bed, but I just wasn't feeling good. Like I just was not getting better.
yeah.
Yeah,
It was just more annoying than anything.
Ethan, when you say you got 10 cases, like did Aaron get like cut from like what he usually gets?
I have no idea what he got. I chatted with him earlier today, but I haven't really been messaging him much because I know he's getting busy before the holidays and all that. I have no idea how many he's getting. I'm not sure.
Do you not order? You don't order with him?
No, we order separately.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We use the same ones. We just order separately.
Wait, you have your own distro account?
Mm-hmm. We both get the email. We just order separately from each other. We just have it sent to the same location because it saves on freight shipping.
Oh, I had no idea.
Mm-hmm. It saves on freight shipping that way. They just because they see both of our orders, they just put them on together.
It's a nice gig.
That's well because freight shipping costs for everything to go on one pallet, or not just say one pallet, but like all combined on like pallets instead of going to 2 separate locations. It's a lot cheaper just to go to one. And he has enough space in his warehouse to store it. He doesn't care if I just leave stuff up there. So yeah.
And then he comes and scoops it, or you sell for him and
no, I go up and scoop it. I
nice.
usually go up for a week at a time. I just stay at his house with him and his wife. I just stay with them for a week, usually every month. We just hang out and then go to our office every day. So like I still have all my Terrapagos UPCs still up there. I haven't moved any of them yet.
You actually bought those things?
Break them down and eat them.
I did. Yes, I did buy them actually. Got to keep the numbers going, Alex. You know how it is now.
What was the price on that? I didn't even look.
Terrapagos?
Like 90.
What was my?
No, like what was the price? What'd you get them at?
$290 a case.
It's not bad. Eli's program was 300.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, $290 was my cost. So
That's crazy.
So-
They can make that product and charge you 72. Like, just give me a booster box.
yeah, but you need to keep buying some of the ancillary products, or if you want.
I mean, look at the Greninja UPC from GameStop. It's like 150.
Mm-hmm.
Is it really?
Yep.
That is the worst product I've ever seen, too.
But still also
No,
available
it's
on
that,
GameStop
right?
for like 115 or 120 or something.
Yeah, you can get it for 120, and then if you use like your promos and coupons, you get it for like 90 to 100 bucks.
Mark, your PC TVs are online. Just to let you know.
Grazie, my man. Thank you
No
very
problem.
much.
What are they listed at?
Paper hands, $3.95.
$3.95.
My God.
So do you want me to list them for? So I have them listed.
Does that did Eli give you numbers yet or no? No? Ethan, should he have numbers?
Huh?
Dude, what sucks about PhD is I don't even have my own numbers.
Man. I think
Like
I'm getting
Southern
one
Hobby
case.
like actually gives out numbers early. Like these other distributors don't do that.
Yeah, some distributors I've heard are atrocious with giving numbers out like at a decent time, whereas like some are good and all that. It's bad. I don't know.
And that's why Eli doesn't like using Distro 3 because that's what I have.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Distro 3.
They suck. Why do they even exist? Like every order that gets placed there, it just doesn't happen.
That's how you bring.
I've literally had every order canceled from Distro 3.
So here's the problem. I'll tell you guys the problem. So the reason it always is canceling this program is because they just pull the numbers, right? Well, I always email my rep first because I'm like, hey, I'm gonna buy 20 cases of this. What's the limit right now? Because it'll show unlimited, right? 50 plus or 100 plus, and he'll be like, oh, they're limited to one case. I'm just like, like I was gonna buy Shrouded Fable. I was gonna buy out Shrouded Fable, limit to one case. I'm like, you're limiting Shrouded Fable to one case, and their whole reasoning is there's so little product right now that there's like nothing to sell that they want to try to give all the sales reps a opportunity to make a little bit of money. So they don't want one buyer to buy everything out with one sales rep. They get all the commission, and then no one else gets any commission that month. So that's why they're doing that. Like everyone's struggling. It's crazy.
Is it a case a week? Is that what they do?
I think it's a case a week.
Okay.
Part of it, I shouldn't say part of it. This is me putting the tinfoil hat on. Part of me is thinking that Pokemon Company International is trying to push the cost of products up to around MSRP, because then at that point, if they go for around MSRP, then they are also selling them on their website.
Pure profit for them.
I think they're absolutely.
But then they're also
every company wants direct to consumer. That's the ideal.
But then they're not sitting on pallets upon pallets upon pallets.
I would say
they're at their warehouse, like Vivid Voltage and like Battle Styles have been sitting there for how long? They don't want.
I think I'm with you to an extent. I don't think they're trying to push it that high. Like I could see them trying to push them to like 120s, 130s. But like,
that.
Man, to have everything 160, that'd be wild.
It could be that enough stores also complained that are a part of their like their Pokemon Play program that complained, saying that they can't make margin on their products, and that's one of the reasons is they're squeezing. They're just putting a squeeze on it on the market.
I mean, yeah, I was talking to my card shop about
if you guys
even they were saying, they were like,
CPI from 1999 to today, it should be 160.
It should.
That's how much it should cost. And
I think 120s, 130s card shops can do fine.
Sure. Yeah. But then it was overpriced in the past.
I mean, just look what Eli's distro has. They have no products. Like, I'm literally sitting trying to buy anything, and there's nothing available.
I could see like 120, 130 on like your not as in demand products, but more like 160 about MSRP for your higher in demand or higher is I would not surprise me. Yeah, there's a couple things, but they're probably going on behind the scenes. But I think that's one. But it's also encouraging them to clear out a lot of the like older stuff, a lot of the clutter that's just been sitting around. Because if people don't have new stuff to buy, they're going to buy the older stuff. I mean, I'm
just waiting for Pokemon to drop everything on Amazon, just like Magic and Lorcana, direct to customers through Amazon.
I think that would be a terrible decision.
People will be real.
I bet it's not too far off.
Yeah, seriously. Why would they lose money giving to distros?
Yeah, I don't think it's too far up. I think it'll be a bad decision. But...
Or just sell it all to GameStop.
Or like we were discussing before, they're moving to
having a lot more is more realistic.
Yeah, they're moving to more of a big box retailer like model. Like just
my GameStop investment's keeping up with my Pokemon stuff this year.
Jesus. What about the Mark? You get any crypto? Come on!
Damn it! You beat me.
Dude, Mark is all in on XRP. I heard.
Sell your car, buy Bitcoin.
Dude, I had to turn off the podcast during the call option talk, and I was like, all right, let's fast forward through this once they're done. It's a perfectly good way to make money, man. It's not for me, and I don't believe in it. But I will say, did you guys hear Federer?
Well, no. So what Steve does? Steve doesn't buy options. He just sells covered calls against his own shares.
No, I thought Mark was just talking about.
Oh no, I was just speaking more generalities. Just when people
okay.
talk crypto, I zone out like a.
No, but that's the absolute right. Like if you fundamentally don't believe in the underlying thing, even if you tried to like oh I can make money, like you're gonna end up blowing it because every time you see a little bit of weakness, you're gonna be like, oh, this is it, I'm out, and then it's not worth it.
Should be seeing a lot more crypto friendly coming through down the pipeline with Gensler now getting out of the SEC. So.
Mark, what do you do when you have a customer come in and they're like, I really want to have part of my portfolio with crypto?
We're not going to be a good fit. That's what I say. You have to like. It's very awkward because like you have to be confident when you say that, but like it's true. It's like I don't want a client that trades crypto. They're used to volatile swings in their portfolio. My whole job is managing risk long term, and like that type of person does not want 6% year over year. So it's like. It's a bad fit.
Mark, what if I come in and say I want Pokemon as a long-term part of my portfolio?
Step into my office. Talk about breakpoints.
They come in seeking tax advice after having liquidated their entire 401k to buy Evolving Skies booster boxes.
They got that HELOC out. Put in the Pokemon.
I cashed out my brokerage account.
When I actually convinced their parents to take out a HELOC.
Dude, what about Dan convincing his dad to invest with him?
That's great. I think that's cool.
That's next level, man.
That's cool.
Great. Dude, I've been trying to convince my dad to get into Pokemon and crypto. Every Christmas and Thanksgiving, I just show him, oh, here's the gains. Here's what you missed out on.
Pokey Plumber did. He's got his dad in on some stuff with him. Our parents are starting to come around to it, man.
It's a good idea. It could be the free storage location.
I'm just trying to get my dad off Edward Jones and that 2% fee.
2%? They better be taking care of him.
Yeah,
trust me, he's too old school.
It's wild in today's day and age.
I almost had a job at Edward Jones back in the day.
Really?
Mark.
When I graduated college, I had one of my lawn care clients. He worked for him, and so I had the job. I went to the interviews and got hired.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I had like someone wanting to sell me like their lawn company. I was just like, man, I think I'm gonna try to go my own route. And I turned down the job and just like did lawn care landscaping.
Hey, look at you now, man. 20K views or 20K subscribers.
Look at me now. Look at Pokemon videos.
Mark, what's the fee structure for Merrill Lynch?
1.1 if you have under 2 million, and then over 2 million is 1%. And then we have obviously leeway depending on the client. And, like if you're bringing in 10 million, like we're going to cut it down. Like,
2 million. There you go. Godly Shad. I know you fit that.
Anyone that's a business, you should go into your bank if you haven't and talk about setting up some sort of investment account for your freaking business. There's so many tax advantages there, and everyone just talks about retirement accounts. But there's ways, man. And as smart as you guys are with your businesses, like if you're not taking advantage of investing in your business and like getting getting like loans on your portfolios for your business, like it's free money if you're a good business person, and it sounds like all of you are.
What are you talking about?
Just like go into your get a business relationship manager and just talk to them about your cash flow and figure, like there's so many sweetheart deals you can get, like 5% credit cards, and you can get like the payments delayed up to like 24 months at a time, as long as you pay it in full. Like obviously you can open up like your SEPs depending on what your business structure is, but
is that what you're talking about with the investing accounts of SEPs?
Yeah.
Oh.
And like if you I don't want to get into it too much. Like there's just none of this is financial advice, by the way.
You're licensed. You're legal to give it.
You're a fiduciary advisor.
But you notice that the only people that don't give advice are the people who are professionally allowed to give advice as a fiduciary. Like you don't go on Reddit and see financial advisors telling you what to do, right? Like you see a bunch of people who think they know. Like maybe they do, but at the end of the day, there's a reason 90% of retail investors lose money long term. It's because people don't. You're too attached to your own money. You need
Mark,
to
can
have
you come on one of my live stream videos and like give financial advice and say it's okay, I'm licensed.
No, I will never show my face in public.
It's okay, I'm licensed to do this, guys. Go buy Surging Sparks.
Wait,
Go buy
Mark.
Moonbryon. Here's my Series 7. Here's my Series 60.
Mark, what you need
I
to
know.
do is
Here's my rep check, or what does Pokey say?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Credibility.
Credibility check.
What were you saying?
Mark, what you need to do is you don't need to have your face showing. Just show Fernando's face with like your background. Just have that as your face the entire time.
Oh,
That's perfect.
yeah.
Yes.
Hold me now.
Hold me
Right.
now. God.
That's amazing.
So Fernando, I know like right when we started the stream, you were talking about Magic though. You say you don't play into the collection box, huh?
I say I haven't yet, just because, man, there's a
Talking about like the finish line box or whatever it is for Aether Drift.
Just like all the the collection boxes are the ones that have been going the most crazy. Like
the collector booster boxes.
Yeah.
Collector booster. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
I don't know, man. I haven't seen like the proven track record that Pokemon has, and it's kind of weird. Like you can find all these draft boxes.
Yeah, definitely. No, it definitely doesn't have that. Magic
it
does
doesn't.
not
It's
represent the same.
not apples to apples for sure. So I'm a little hesitant on that. And even like the regular set boxes, or like the set boxes, or the play booster boxes, the draft, whatever the hell they call them, there are boxes that are like 8, maybe 9, 10 years old that are still sub 150.
Magic Sealed is nowhere near.
Yeah. So just seeing how it doesn't scale the same way that Pokemon does, I'm just like, I don't know if I want to get into something that I'm not too familiar with just yet. But
smart. Yeah, it's smart.
Yeah, but I do see that,
coming out, Fernando.
What's up?
Is there a SpongeBob Magic coming out?
There's a Secret Lair SpongeBob coming up soon.
Wait, that's a real thing?
You got to be buying that, right? Like that's just the easiest play in the entire world.
That's the easiest.
Secret Lair is relatively safe. Like I think worst case you're breaking even, but you can kind of feel out.
SpongeBob is not going to print.
Do
Is
what?
Magic just different? Like I feel like it's just such a heavy IP that it's like too big to fail.
I don't know, man.
I don't know anything about Magic. I'm just saying.
I think Magic's too based on playability and meta.
Oh, okay. Like the players will just reject it.
Yeah.
Isn't like Universe of Beyond with like Final Fantasy coming out next year and like Marvel,
Final Fantasy.
That Final Fantasy set's going to be big because it's the first
I like
Universal
the
Beyond set.
idea of Final Fantasy.
It's going to be
Well,
wild.
It's the first Universal Beyond set that's going to be like a standard legal. So,
damn, that's like you're going to have.
I mean, Final Fantasy just makes sense though. Like that meshes well with Magic.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but I'm saying because it's going to be legal in all major tournaments, it's going to be huge. Like I think everybody should honestly just buy Final Fantasy.
Yeah, just because it spans like throughout all formats.
It'll also be the first one, so it's the major IP. It's the first standard legal Universes Beyond.
But will they have serialized cards?
Not in the collector box, probably.
Yeah, in the collector box.
I would fully expect them to.
But like playability is everything. Like I don't know how much you guys keep up with it, but the banning of the One Ring in standard, like that took the price from like $100 down to, I don't know, it's probably like 40, 50, $60 now. So it's just like playability is everything in that space. So you really have to have a finger on the pulse to see.
Does Pokemon ever have banned cards?
I don't know.
Just out of rotation, right?
Just
Yeah,
they banned like Shaman and Black and White era. Like I when I first got into it, I watched a bunch of brain rot videos on it. There's like a handful of cards that got banned just because they broke the game.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh is very similar to that Fernando.
I think you're looking at the wrong version.
Oh yeah, like the banned and limited 1, limited 2. Yeah, I remember all that stuff.
Yeah.
Fernando, tell me when I can get out of my heavy bags of Assassin's Creed play boxes. I have those, and they're just collecting dust. I don't want them.
I think that was a mistake.
I know, dude. I was watching that fucking Rudy video, and he's like, "You want a case for 89 or 89 a box?" And so, like, technically, I could sell it and lose like what $100 probably after shipping, but like. I thought 89 it was going to rocket up to 150.
Are they collector books?
Sounds like a
Boxes?
you
What are they?
problem.
Absolutely not. They're the baggy
It's the play
bags.
boxes. Why
Sounds
would
sounds
you
like
do
Even
that?
the-
Well, okay, well, part of it is that was the only Magic I've ever bought in because I'm a
Yeah.
huge
Good
Assassin's
start.
Creed
This is a good
stan.
start.
Like it's
This is
just
how you
my
want to begin.
no, I'm not buying Magic ever again. It was just the Creed.
Why?
It's
This
like
is
I
the
don't.
perfect
No,
experience.
don't.
Now
you
you
shouldn't.
know how it works.
No,
Yeah,
no, I
ready.
can do
I got
the
6
secret layer
of the
drops,
Assassin's
but
Creed
Once you've
collector box.
got the small losses under your belt, now you're ready for the big losses.
Oh my.
That's right.
No, I
No,
think.
I'm-
I think if you're down, either you.
well, let's see what they're at. Hold on, let's see what the I
Yeah,
bet
yeah.
Guys, let's all chip in and get Mark a box of Magic, and we'll get him an XRP coin.
Give him an XRP coin.
I would literally burn it. Can I burn crypto?
Mark, hold
Can't,
on.
it's forever. You can't do anything to it.
Mark,
You can't
I-
destroy
Keep
it.
trying to send it to
I'm staking.
random wallet
I'm
addresses
staking all my
until it's
Cardano.
gone.
Mark, I'll give you a coin for my Cardano pile.
I'm
Wait,
curious
what's
as to
Cardano?
what is Assassin's Creed?
Are me and Mark the
Go off
only
your
ones not in crypto in this group?
I'm not in.
I'm not
I
in
don't have any.
crypto.
I was in, sold off. I had 15K in Bitcoin, bought at 55, and I sold it off before the election, thinking it's volatile, right? That was the worst. I'm done with crypto. I'm fucking done with.
I'm
crypto.
not in crypto either.
I'm just I'm not.
Oh, guys, this is dark. There's only been 2 sold in an entire year for my Assassin's Creed case. Two cases, the whole year.
Well, people don't buy cases. Look at the individual boxes.
Oh, okay.
I think you got to cut.
No one cares about cases.
Mark,
No one
Mark
collects
just
Magic.
Mark just hit Alex's Pokemon Go esque style of set.
Dude, this 1 month chart, the year chart on this is ridiculous. It was $150 at launch, and now it's at $92.
Oof,
Insane.
lovely.
You know what's really funny about that? If I was buying the quantities I buy now, I probably would have got pretty hurt on Pokemon Go. Luckily, it was back when I really didn't buy enough to really hurt me.
That's crazy.
Dude, yeah, I remember watching a Rob video where they were talking about Baldur's Gate. He was like scared that he's like, yeah, we recovered from that, but we nearly lost like so much with Baldur's Gate. Do you remember that video, Ethan?
Yep, I remember that.
Oh gosh, he was like, yeah, I thought we were just gonna have to like.
Who are we talking about?
Baldur's Gate.
Rob, RNG Games. He had went in hard on a set, Baldur's Gate.
By the way, he's a part of this group now, right?
Yeah.
I was
Who's
I was hoping he'd be here. I'm gonna reach out to him and ask him if he'll come on for the next month's stream.
You should call Nate, see what he's doing.
Who?
Pokey Plumber.
Yeah,
How come he doesn't do these?
I mean, I can get him in here whenever you want.
there you go.
We have our live stream tomorrow though.
That's
Okay.
true. Live stream
You
tomorrow.
gotta rest up. Yeah.
Yeah. Now Baldur's Gate that put all that. There's a lot of stores that almost went out of business. So that's that. That in what was it? Streets of Barry Manilow? Yeah.
They have such weird names for their sets, man.
What?
Streets of what the fuck are we doing?
That's the Rudy name.
Sounds like an Archer episode. Jesus. And wasn't the one with the gingerbread on it? Like, what is magic? I thought it was demons.
No, the Wilderville Drain, that one's a good one. That plays well into the fantasy aesthetic. That one actually did really well. I'm still doing well. I think you got a cup 8 with that Assassin's Creed, dude. Like I don't.
Well,
I
see,
don't
it's
know, man.
sentimental to me. I don't know why I love Assassin's Creed so much. So it's like it's not even the fact. Like it's $1,000, dude.
Just
Like,
rip it.
Yeah,
Rip
maybe.
I messaged Fernando a couple months ago. I was like, "Hey, what's the Mox whatever on this? Like, is it worth it?" But that was the point. Like, I'm done with singles and all. Like, I
Yeah.
did it for a year and a half.
Oh,
And it's
shit.
with a full time job.
You could probably open your whole case, get like $50.
Mark, just sell it and buy some Evolving Skies. You'll make the money back over time.
Ooh.
Yeah,
how long until LO gets to 300 a box? That's
LO?
That's what I need to happen. Yeah. Hello.
I'm more interested. I think LO definitely. That makes me wonder how long before Fusion Strike gets to 400 a box. The way
I don't care about that. Don't have any of that, Ethan. It's not what I'm interested in.
Would
Mark-
you sell though if it hit 300?
Probably not. But I
Probably
would
doesn't
be
matter.
happier. Doesn't matter? No, wrong attitude.
No, if you're thinking long
Take a
term,
lap.
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
No, the purpose of all actions in life is to look at a spreadsheet and have numbers increase.
Yes.
See?
Yeah.
It's all a video game. It's all about the high score.
It's all
The high
about
score.
that.
That's right.
Right.
It's Ready Player One, man. We're just all here playing a game, trying to get that high score.
It's always more fun to look at than when you actually have to look at all the stuff and you think like, I have to liquidate this at some point.
Yeah, you don't want to look at the boxes. You just want to look at the one line.
The spreadsheet is so much better to look at.
Wait, you guys sell this stuff?
AK, that's funny
Yeah.
that you mentioned that because
In
like
theory.
a year ago, AK, I looked at my spreadsheet and I saw like all these booster box products like Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet, and I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna want to offload because I fast forward 10 years. There's 60 more sets, and so I literally told like the only thing I'm holding for investments are 151 and Rocket. Like, and then I'm just gonna buy it until it's done, and then I'm probably just gonna kind of grade and shit on the side. But I'm
So
not.
you don't own anything?
No, I have like I only have like 6 cases, 2 Paldea, and then like one of the Scarlet and Violets. But then like, dude, I have like 400, 500 booster bundles. Like, I have way too much 151.
You have
but like
500 loose booster bundles?
I probably have sold well over 500 loose booster bundles
Oh,
alone.
okay.
And
I thought you had that.
No.
sitting next to you in a pile.
No, like I have 70 right next to me. Hold on, let me just come out. Like I have so much 151.
I was just gonna sell all my Pokemon and put it in Ethereum.
Like I got like these are just
There you
3
go.
bundles sitting on the side. I have an entire like those 25 count Pokemon Center things. I have like 6 of those now. I don't understand why people didn't buy those when they were on Pokemon Center, like on pre-release. It was
What was it?
25 booster bundles for 26, 27, I think. They come in a sealed case and you can't get it anymore because Pokemon's never gonna put 25 limit on 151 booster bundles. So like I cannot imagine more than 1,000 people have enough of these cases, like more than one. And so like that's my golden grail product.
AK, you got 2?
2.
Let's go, AK.
I have 1.
I just want one of those sealed display cases of the 6 booster bundles, but nobody has the ones I can find with the writing on the outside. It's just like a bigger cardboard box. And so like I don't, do those exist? You got one, bro? How much you charging?
Mark,
But does anyone have one of those? Like the
Mark
6
about to start a
display
151
sealed cases?
ETF.
So like here, let me ask you guys this. Why would you, maybe it's, diversification or whatever. I can take a wild stab and say most of you guys are successful outside of Pokemon. So why, and I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm probably going to regret it, but why are you guys diversifying in every single set, planning to hold for 3, 5, 10 years? I get it, you're going to sell some off, but like, do you even want all those sets? Like, if you're going to,
I'll tell you exactly why. If you look at Sun and Moon, right? Like you know, in any era, like obviously it's easy to look back in hindsight, but it's like, could you really call every single set at what rank it's at? Like, did you know Celestial Storm was going to be? Same with Sword and Shield. It's like, did we know Fusion Strike and Chilling Rain were going to do this? Or like, I just think it's so hard to predict.
But no, but here's what I'm saying. We all know and knew for the last year and a half, 151 was. You can't tell me that's not going to be one of the top 5 sets in the history of Pokemon. So like, why are we diversifying into Paradox Rift instead of just buying the set that everybody in the world knows every one of those Pokemon? Like, to me, it's such a no-brainer play, which is why I'm going to regret it, I'm sure. But like, it's Team Rocket, it's Prismatic, and maybe Journey Together for me. But like, I don't give a shit about.
I mean, here the truth is, other than Generations, every specialty set's topped out. And like booster boxes don't seem to top out.
So specialty sets, I'm trying to think. Outside of Pokemon Go, you can't even count that as a set.
So you got Shining Legends, you've got Dragon Majesty, you got Hidden Fates, Shining Fates, Champions Path, Celebrations, Pokemon Go, like It's like the booster boxes seem to just keep running, and a lot of the specialty sets kind of reach a trading range, and they haven't. It's almost like they have a more of a ceiling than booster boxes do.
I see what you mean. I'm looking on TCG.
So that's the only thing that scares me about like Crown Zenith and Pokemon and like 151 and Paldean Fates is like, is there a point where
So here, Alex, I'm not even saying any of those other sets. Like this could be for anybody. If you believed in 151, I'm sure you guys think it's a better set than Scarlet and Violet Base, Paldea, Paradox, this and that. And maybe you got it wrong and you regret it, but like, how does this set not moon in 10 years? Like, who is going to give a shit about Paldea Evolved when they can buy one? Like, I just don't.
I mean, it's an example of like, you could get Team Up, and if you thought Team Up was the best, but what's wrong with getting Unified Minds? It's still doing great.
No, that's why I said there's nothing wrong with it. But for me, it's like, again, I don't know all your situations, but I can assume majority of us are pretty okay. We're not living paycheck to paycheck, and maybe some of you are, which is, it's not a bad thing. But like, to me, this is not something I want to play safe, right? Like, it's the gains are here, and so this is my crypto, I guess, right? Like 151 is my crypto. I'm going all in on it, and it just doesn't make sense to me after I've seen how liquid this is, how much it sells, and how like you cannot push this set down. And so like,
why even selling?
What?
Because why even sell?
Because I'll pull up my cost. Like I'm probably at a $7 cost basis on 500 booster bundles.
If you know in 3 or 4 years it's going to moon and it's going to be the Team Up of the generation, why even sell now?
Because I don't.
Why take the 100% gain when you could take the 2000% gain?
No, we're talking 300% gains. Every booster bundle that I sell now, I'm netting at least $45. And so for me, I can literally.
So you're selling them for $70 plus tax, shipping fees.
No. I told you my cost basis is like $7 per booster bundle because I've sold so many. Like I sold UPC. Like 151 is the only thing that I've sold. Yes, I've sold other stuff, but it's disgusting how much I've sold and how liquid it is. In one day, I sold like 24 booster bundles on TCG Player. And so once I saw that, that's when I sold pretty much. Like I sold my Lost Origin. I still have my Evolving Skies, but I'm only buying the sets that I've seen the power of. And like I don't know. Like, have you guys had trouble selling 151? Like I don't get it.
No,
man.
I just
don't sell
I had
it.
trouble.
Exactly.
I had trouble back in the day when I used to try to pick sets, and you just in the heat of the moment you don't always get it right. Like you just 151 is pretty obvious. I agree, but it's like back in X, Y, and Sun and Moon.
Sets, right? Like I'm only picking like I already told you the only two sets, and like granted that's just me, but like 151, I just don't understand it. Like it is the set, so why are we buying other stuff when you can be loading up on 151 at MSRP? Like that Walmart thing.
Where are you getting it right now,
dude? Walmart drops it every third week.
But I cannot buy it in quantity. I can maybe get.
Don't tell me that. I just bought 60 of these from Walmart.
Bro, I can't sit on Discord all day waiting for pings to.
Dude, I work fucking 10 hours a day. You don't sit. You happen to get lucky, and then when it's there, you fucking spend all of the money you're comfortable with.
So 60. So that's 360.
$315 each after tax shipped to my door.
No. So 60 booster bundles is 360 packs. So it's the equivalent of 10 booster boxes.
Roughly. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little bit less than 2 cases.
And
so the argument being like, if you're truly trying to like, it doesn't scale in the same way. Like, depending.
What do you mean?
I can't just go to distro and buy cases of 151 right now. I can go buy Paradox. I can go buy.
I'm speaking in hindsight, Jesse, but we all knew. Every single person in this call knew 151 was going to moon when it was announced. And so what gains you had leading up to that, they might have been good. They didn't touch 151. No matter what product you were in, if you bought 151 booster bundles on Game Nerds, Over the Brick, Infinity Gaming, they were booster bundles for like $19.99 with tax, and then like $20.23, like 3x in 1 year. So like, yeah, I'm selling because it's literally thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars falling out of the sky. And like, maybe I'll regret it, but I have no risk in this now. And I just, this is my rant, but I just don't see, if everyone's holding 10 years, no one's buying the 58th set back. Like, and if we all have a case, like, what is one box going to sell a month? Like, there's just going to be too many sets, in my opinion. It's my hot take. Specialty sets are going to be the new investment, whereas the regular sets are just going to be the trash that people
Better
get.
pick up some Shrouded Fables.
All in on Shrouded Fable.
Yeah, all the I understand where you're coming from, Mark.
Though, with you,
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah.
I do. I understand what he's saying. I do. I get it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I mean, if I could buy more 151, I would buy it every single second. But I joined the hobby in February. I joined at a point where it's not readily available. If I saw it at Walmart or Target, I pick it up. If I have access to it online, I pick it up. But I can't go buy $10,000 of 151 right now.
You could have it. Well,
that's true.
anyways,
That's true. But let me ask you this, Jesse. In February, why didn't you?
Because I bought a case of Evolving Skies for $2K.
Okay, and then what about the other 8K?
I bought Lost Origin at $900. I bought Fusion Strike at $120. I bought all this stuff that's doing just as well.
No,
okay, that was the money you made on Monday. What did you spend with the money you made on Tuesday?
I'm being a dick in a purposeful way.
No,
that like
even
though you bought Lost Origin in February, it was not.
He's a dick.
I mean, my point is, it's just like when. So when you sell stocks to your clients, do you say, "Hey,
I don't sell
go
stocks.
all in"? Well, you know what I mean. Investments.
Yes.
Go all in on this one thing. This is the one thing.
No, because that is tried and true. That's the world. And granted, I know Alex will probably disagree with me. There's no replacement for retirement investing and a brokerage account for me. There's no replacement for that. You need to be piling money in your bucket.
Agreed.
Dan is right. And so after that, this is my crypto. This is my alternate investment. I do not want to buy a bunch of shit that slowly appreciates. I want to shoot for the base set of modern Pokemon. And for me, it's going to be the obvious sets that everyone's going to be like, oh, I'll wait, or I'll do this, or it'll drop, or it's whatever. And that's where I'm loading up.
You fulfilled your safe plays, your safe buckets, and now you're willing to put more money into more riskier stuff that you feel really good about, which is fine. I mean, that's
well, and I'll be very honest with you guys. Part of the reason I sold a bunch of my 151 is because I was so confident in it that when I left Chase to come to Merrill, I took my brokerage account or my rollover. I cashed it out, paid taxes on it, and bought 151 with this. And I have my spreadsheet, and it worked. But
wait, stop. Wait, whoa. What did you do?
I just had my 401k from Chase. When I left Chase to go to Merrill, that's when I got back.
So
into
wait,
Pokemon.
you took the stuff you've been putting your buckets in, you took it and put it into Pokemon?
Give it to me. But I was so confident, and if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have seen how easy it was to move that, and I wouldn't have made never mind.
So you outpaced your own 401k.
I kid you not, I probably made profit easily $10,000 in 150 easily.
No,
and I'm a side flipper. I don't have a business. I can't have a business.
I think it's ultimately what's your goal in the hobby, though, and what's your goal if you're just purely here from a financial perspective. I mean, a lot of us are also here.
Yeah. It was fun.
And some of us are here for the fun of it too. I mean, that's the reason I'm here in Pokemon.
Oh no, I have my Gardevoir collection, but I just hit that point where it was just like I started looking at these cards. I'm like, why the shit do I have all these alt arts? So I just sold them.
There's nothing wrong with having like a slice of like, I know like Alex and all the like their focus is like, oh, if you have everything you can't miss on sets that you potentially didn't have the opportunity. But there's also nothing wrong with getting a lot of sets, but also then going hard, like heavier on sets that you particularly feel good about though too. Like I have a lot of the sets, but my majority position is in Evolving Skies. That's always gonna be my majority because if Evolving Skies doesn't keep going the way it does, I'd be absolutely dumbfounded beyond moral belief. I mean, we've seen the trend lines for it. I mean, but I understand going for like every set and all that, just because then you're diversified enough to where it's, these 3 sets aren't doing great, but this 2 sets are okay. Well, you're at least still going up instead of just putting all one thing and risking it all that it has to go up, which is fair.
I mean, here's the thing is like, Team Up was not Team Up when it came out. Like I was there.
No.
Like no one cared. No one cared about Team Up. And that was back when I was trying to pick sets. And like back then, the Charizard from Burning Shadows was the rage. That was the hit of Sun and Moon. I invested in Burning Shadows. I invested in Evolutions. I invested in Shining Legends. And then I also invested a good amount in Unified Minds. So I was like picking the sets that I thought were the sets. Some I got right, some I got wrong. And it's like, I realized if everything was said and done, if I would have just bought everything, I probably would have done as good or better. And so like, yeah, 151, I agree with you. But what if there's not another 151?
No,
like
the more I think about it, you guys are right, because I did get lucky, right? I got back in because I heard 151 announced, and so in my mind, that was the only reason I was buying this, was to invest in 151. So it was super easy for me, and like maybe I'm biased now, thinking, oh, I saw that set and it was the best performing set, so maybe now I can do that again with Prismatic. But like if Prismatic, here's the ultimate thing.
Yeah,
if Prismatic and 151 cannot outpace and be more expensive than these other boxes, then Pokemon investing has gone wrong, in my opinion. Because there's no reason that either of these 2 sets should ever be cheaper, less, like even if they're printed, like just the pure demand of these sets. Alex, tell me if you don't rip Japanese. I guarantee that if you had Terrestrial Festival, you would rip more Terrestrial Festival in one night than you did Scarlet and Violet Base, Paldea, and Obsidian combined over the history of your channel. That's what I honestly think you would. And so, like, how many people are ripping Scarlet and Violet Base? How many people are ripping Paldea? Like, yeah, it's a lot, but when you compare it to 151, Surging, Prismatic, the numbers it's like an outlier, and it's an entire set. Like if you just sit through someone's live stream and watch the packs that are being opened, it's no one's opening anything but these specialty sets and like the newest Japanese set, because that's like the flashy thing. But like I don't see the true demand in 10 years for anybody to go back to get butt fucked by Sword and Shield. Like you can open 700 packs and literally get $5 worth of cards. Like that's not possible in any other era. I don't care what era it is. Like Sword and Shield is the trashiest trash of all trash, and everybody should sell out. No, I'm kidding on that. But Sword and Shield does.
Well, Republic Bricks is working on getting some more money, get invested in the Sword and Shield area. So we're gonna try and fight against you.
Get more Evolving Skies, please. Please,
but then
please.
Also because I came back into the hobby and opened Scarlet and Violet Base, and I'm like, holy shit, all these hits.
Oh, dude, I'm with you. Like
Pokemon. And then I went to Sword and Shield. I wanted to kill myself. Like it was.
Dude, I'm sure
experience.
I'm sure me and Pokey Plumber will probably argue about it tomorrow on the stream. Like, I am 100% on board. I think Scarlet Violet era is the best era. It's the most fun to open. The sets are deeper. Like, I think everyone got way too high on Sword and Shield era. And when you like look back and when you go open it, the opening experience sucks.
Trash.
Yeah.
And you're going to be spending more and more every year that goes by. And so, yes, it'll become a collectible, but the liquidity on all these middling filler sets is just going to be the Sahara. Again, in my opinion, been in the hobby less than a year and a half. So,
yeah, I've noticed that Scarlet and Violet does not have the nicknames that Sword and Shield did. It doesn't have the evolving cries, the chilling pain. Doesn't have the nicknames, which is.
Here's the thing: it's like, these crappy sets from Sun and Moon and XY are moving. Like, I mean, Forbidden Light is $600 a box and selling. Like, you have Lost Thunder and Ultra Prism now at $700, $800. Like, you have, even
I'm
like
trying
Guardians
to fast
Rising.
forward when we have 60 more sets on top of that. Like, you can't tell. Okay, so let me ask you guys this: what do you think every single set? Fast forward 10 years, there's 60 more sets on top of Sword and Shield, on top of this, on top of Sun and Moon. There's going to be 80% of those sets are just going to be lost to the wind and never rise or never fall because no one's going to open them. There's going to be that's just what I think. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
So you raise an interesting point, Mark, because I've been thinking about this in my head for a little bit. So we think when we talk modern, we talk XY and forward, right?
Yeah.
And mid-era is black and white and things like that. There's like what, a 3-month gap between when Legendary Treasures came out and when XY Base came out.
I believe that's 3 months.
Shit, it's that close. I didn't realize that.
Something like right.
Yeah, whatever. Semantics.
It's a normal release cycle, right? Like it's not like it was years in between. It was measured in months. And so like XY Base, modern, legendary, mid-era, no longer good. I do think that like your general point of like these things get to a point where and our buddy down in Florida is sort of lamenting this about Magic. I do think you get to a point where it's like vintage stuff. It's almost like it almost comes like a blue chip stock, except it doesn't have a dividend that goes with it.
Oh, I like that.
Ooh,
that's turn
that's
great.
That's actually noodling in the back of my
vintage.
God, the Shad woke up.
Yeah, I'm here now. No, but I'm with you, Mark. I've thought about that for a lot. There's going to be so many sets competing against each other in 10, 15, 20 years. Some of them have to be garbage for some to be good. That's just how it's going to work. There's only going to be so much money a collector can spend on their collection. How can you have 60 different sets?
I don't want 60 booster
everyone's
box
going to have
cases in my
$100,000 in boxes? No. It's not possible.
I mean, you also have to look at the nostalgia factor though too, because like look at Eli. Eli loves Diamond and Pearl stuff. Like I would never want to go pick up Diamond and Pearl. I care zero about it. But look at how much that shit costs.
Printed way less. Like,
but still,
a fraction
I would never go back and buy it.
But those people would, right, from
Yeah.
that generation, and it wasn't like.
Or like I would go buy XY, but most people wouldn't type thing.
Right.
Yeah, I don't care about XY.
Right. What a good thing mentality to have going into it is like if you buy every set, like what Alex says and all that, or like if you want to have like a slice of everything, is longer term you can have that, but over time as you realize gains and profits, condense more into the fan favorite, the chase sets that you know will have a longer term,
like the S tier.
Right. The S tier sets that
I like that. You take the Bs, sell them after 2 years, take the A's,
right. You can still keep them for long term and sell them long term, but just slowly move.
And then you got the CDOs, the mystery packs.
Here's the problem, guys. The problem is you don't know, like you don't always know what those sets are going to be.
That's correct. No, you don't.
Like, here's the thing:
I'd argue against that because I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
Dude, there's no way you would have picked if you were there.
It's like 3 to 5 years out.
I'm out.
Like,
okay.
Like
so
at this point, there's no reason to think that Astral is ever going to outperform Fusion, Chilling, or Evolve.
Right.
Exactly.
But I don't think a lot of people would have picked Fusion.
But you also start unloading that now.
You build a level performance, and then you sell Astral earlier because it's going to underperform.
Correct. That's the strategy.
Eventually the money will consolidate into the better.
I'm not going to hold SV base forever. I have my one case just for me personally, but I would never hold 10 cases. Right. You know, same thing. I'll buy 10 cases of the next set. I'll see how it does. Oh, I don't like it. I'll offload a bunch of it and just hold what I want personally. If it's doing well, I'll hold more of it or pick up more.
And that is a nice thing that over time we can see how the trends go. I mean, the writing's in almost, I shouldn't say the writing's on the wall, but we can kind of see how the trends are going to look for Sword and Shield already, how things are going to progress in terms of what S tier sets are actually going to be like, not quite the face of Sword and Shield, but compared to like everything, like we already can see like the fusion.
Put it this way. If you were a set picker back in Sword and Shield, there was a good chance you would have ended up with Evolving Skies, Brilliant Stars, probably Crown Zenith, and maybe even Celebrations.
Yeah.
Like there's a good chance you would have missed Fusion and Chilling.
I do think maybe in 10 years those will be the best bets.
You don't need those then. If you can shoot 80% from the hip. And,
what do you mean 80% though? like Crown, Celebrations, and Brilliant Stars aren't performing that great. You
said Evolving, Crown.
Well, yeah, Evolving is going to help level out. What I'm saying is, if you just like buy them all, and then like AK was saying, you just like over time you kind of move out of the lower performers, hold the higher performers.
Right,
you're probably going to do as good as trying to pick sets, and maybe even better, and it's going to be less risky.
But like,
I don't know
the risk part, like what, like, okay, you're a business now, but again, this goes back to everyone's individual situation, but what risk are we talking about here at the end of the day when you're able to, if you buy early, you can flip some, take your risk off the table and just continue to buy more. Like, okay, so the set picking thing, hear me out here. In Scarlet and Violet era, maybe you guys didn't, but for me, you see the Greninja. You see Greninja was voted the most popular Pokemon in the world for 2 years in a row.
So what are you saying? You think Twilight's going to be a play?
No, I'm saying that if you needed to pick sets, looking back, no, you can't. Hindsight is 2020, but looking back at these Scarlet and Violet sets, you see, okay, you got the couple of winners with Paldea. Obviously, they just have a bunch of IRs, but you can tell because of the Pokemon that are in these Scarlet and Violet sets. I don't know about the next era, but for me, Scarlet and Violet era has been super easy to pick and choose. I have 151, I have Twilight, Surging, and Pierre, stop it. I'm ranting to my friends.
The Chonkster.
What would you do if everything got flipped on its head?
He's not chunky.
Mark, what would you do in 2 to 3 years if everything got flipped on its head and all of a sudden, like, Paldea, Paradox, and Temporal were the front runners?
I'd be super pissed, dude. I'd be super pissed.
Well, the risk is that Pokemon,
but it's not going to happen because it's 151.
But I do agree with AK on that. It's one of those where, yeah, you can get everything, and then if you want to, as you see the trend lines go, you can condense into what looks like will be longer term. I mean, there are certain.
What do you do, Ethan?
I usually pick most everything. Like, there's certain stuff I don't have just because I know I will have a little bit longer of a time on it. That's what I did though. That's what I did for Sword and Shield. Is I mostly I had a lot of the sets. I condensed mine down to right now it's Evolving Skies, Chilling Reign, Fusion Strike, and Lost Origin. That is entirely what I'm condensed down to.
Perfect.
I had other sets, but as I started seeing the trend lines go and just seeing what the iconic chase cards you
should have kept Brilliant though.
I definitely I can understand Brilliant. But I know for me, Fusion Strike was the Gengar, the Giratina, and the Lost Origin. Evolving Skies is Evolving Skies. Everyone knows about that one. But for Scarlet and Violet, for me, I have a lot of them already. There are certain sets I don't have. I don't have SV Base, I don't have Obsidian Flames, I don't have Paradox yet. But certain ones like Twilight Masquerade, I feel really good about just because it's the Greninja. But it's also because the masks are technically the legendaries for that era, so it wouldn't surprise me. If it's just popular long term because of that, but Surging is Surging. But I mean, I have most everything, but I'm sure once Scarlet and Violet is over and we see how things start moving, there's definitely a time period where you can condense into the 3 or 4, maybe 5 sets that really define an era almost. That longer term, I think, will be an easier.
Did Mark leave?
Yeah, Mark left.
I think he has the cat. Yeah, I think he's dealing with the cat or something.
What the heck? We were just he was he was the conversation.
I know.
We were answering his question.
But I mean, no, I understand having a slice of every set, but I do think longer term it is for me. I think it'd be for me. It's I would probably condense more into.
Yeah, I think it's riskier longer term. Short term, I think
right.
You're fine because there's a lot more money to spread into those sets. But if you're holding for a longer term, the money will eventually spread with these 60 sets. There's only so much money to go around. But I think short term, it's fine.
Right. If right now, having all the Scarlet and Violet or base, having all the Scarlet and Violet sets is fine. Even maybe 2-3 years after Scarlet and Violet is done, that's fine. But I think longer after that is when you start looking and be like, okay, what sets are going to define this era? Because I mean,
well, here's the thing, Mark. Now that Mark's back, I'm not going to talk behind his back because he's here. Here's the thing, right, dude? If you were here for Hidden Fates, that was seen as the no-brainer of that was the 151 of its time.
That's what scares me. I would have gone all in on Hidden Fates for sure.
And so it's here's the problem. 151, if we would have not went through the market we're in and got super hot, if it would have been like it was in 2022, there's a good chance they could have printed into the ground and it could still be $50 in ETB. It's I don't know. I just think we got we all got extremely lucky right now. It's funny because I got called out in my video by a bunch of people in the chat, and rightfully so. They're like, Alex, you're showing how you were right about all this stuff, but everything's up. And it's like, it's pretty true, right? We all kind of like anything we did, like, Shad and Ethan, they're up on all their vintage stuff, and I'm up on modern stuff. You're up on whatever you guys chose. And so it's just like, yeah, to an extent, you couldn't really be wrong right now.
The nice part
is
you
have to have your credibility. Like you have to tell your viewers, hey, like I've told you good advice. Like that's different for you as like a public speaker.
It's
like,
content.
People need to know that you said right things.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, like I'm not. I hope no one is like upset at me or anything. Like I'm just trying to.
No, dude, we're just talking.
That's awesome. I just know a lot of people.
We're all BSing and having a good time. There's nothing wrong.
You're the heart of the conversation, brother.
No, so because I have been thinking of like the whole exit strategy, and like Alex, going back to your origin story video that you did a couple of months back or whatever, where you ended up at was it Troll and Toad and selling stuff off that way?
Yeah.
So like that stuck with me. And then around that time, you said something like, if you had 216 loose packs at Team Up, what were you going to do? Like sell them off one by one? And I was thinking, no, I'd sell it as a case, as a loose case. But I also thought so it's easier to sell 216 loose packs of Team Up than I think it is 21 or 16 or something like that. Like I do think that like at some point when you get to scale and you can do something off market like you were talking about, there like it does become easier to liquidate in some way, shape, and form.
I mean, the rip and ship culture, like it's opened up a lot of doors. Like it's actually made liquidation a lot more easier because the streamers need packs to open and they're going to make profit on it. And so it's just like, it gives people another route to get rid of it, because before you had to sell to someone who was another investor or another collector because no one's going to open the stuff. Now everyone's opening it. So it's like, it definitely helps.
It helps, but also it's like, but I also think like to the point of like, I think it's easier to offload in some ways larger amounts. And going back to the very early conversation we were having with Derek of like, if you, again, and I don't know y'all were on at that point, but like if you showed up at a Collecticon with cases of Team Up, sealed cases of Team, like you would sell those fast, no problem. You'd be done. Much more so than if like you showed up with Rebel Clash. And
PSA cards, perfect example.
If you had the S tier stuff and you've held it for a long time, you're gonna be able to get rid of it, or you're gonna be able to move it fairly quickly. And that's also the reason to like start pruning. This is super helpful, Mark. You get me think about this. Like you prune back to the S tier because when you get to that longer period, you're gonna be able to move that stuff a lot easier than you're gonna be able to move Astral or Rebel or Vivid or something like that.
It's easier to move your blue chip like slabs than your garbage slabs that no one wants. Like, you walk up to a booth with a PSA 10 Moonbryon, no question they're gonna want it. You walk up with a handful of garbage. I mean,
going back
it's
to
just over time, it's just condensing into the more desirables. Like I said, having a slice and everything is fine, but over time, I think for me, it's better to condense to what defines an era or a section of Pokemon. I mean,
I act like I only bought. Up until a year and a half ago, I had one of every single case from Sword and Shield all the way up. So like clearly, I was diversifying too. I just realized like if I'm going to be doing this, I want to take my shot.
Which is interesting because like
I get it
in some ways, like Alex, your point of like like if you're really confident in something, don't diversify. Like Mark's kind of arguing like that. Your exact
That's why I said I like it. I'm not arguing against it,
guys. Also in context, like I truly hope that like I die. Like I'm not kidding. I hope my kids can have this, right? Like I don't want to sell it. I hope that I'm in a position 30 years from now that selling a $2,000 box, it means nothing to me. I hope, but like I hope that my kids get this one day and then maybe they sell it when I die or something. But like, I don't have intentions to sell my 151 outside of just when I like right now, if someone were to offer me market for everything I had, I would sell it to them because I believe in it, but I like money and I have a family and I have a girl coming and like, I'm not turning down, like $20,000 on a product that I'm less than $2,000 in for. So like take everything obviously I'm saying with a grain of salt, not that you're listening to me, but
see, I actually don't want the kids to have it.
No, so Mark, what you're going to realize is when your kids get older, and they
They're not
see
gonna
the
want it.
pile of stuff and they start thinking about like, what if dad gets like dies of a heart attack and we're gonna have to get rid of this stuff, and then they hate you. Like,
well, Timmy, I have a draft on my eBay of 151, and because it's the only product I have, you can just list it quantity a million. No, I'm kidding, but
I've legitimately thought.
Oh, Mark,
right.
he's Sword and Shield, much better player right now than Scarlet and Violet.
Right now,
I don't think you should. I think that's wrong. I don't think you should pay. I don't think any booster box right now is a play. But I'm one guy. I don't think anyone should be buying booster boxes right now because there's not in my opinion, like the time to buy. It's the same thing as the stock market, in my opinion. Wealth is not made in bull markets. Wealth is made when we were buying Scarlet UPCs for $60 on TikTok, unlimited coupons. Let's go. VPN, BlueStacks, let's go. If you weren't loading up then, what the shit are you doing buying
the
now?
bull, buying the bear. That's what I do.
Exactly. So that's why I'm selling most of my stuff now, is because I went so hard when shit was cheap. And it's like, because there's YouTube content, people feel like they have to buy. In my opinion, there's not a play out there that's not a pre-order or MSRP 151.
Sell when people are greedy, buy when people are fearful.
But
I mean, there's grading plays. That's about.
You should be bored during a bull market.
Board is in because if you're a flipper though, you're working 8 hours a day listing, right?
Say if you're a
bull
flipper,
market, but if you're an investor in a bull market, it's the worst time because you like the non-diamond hands want to sell, and then even the diamond hands are like, dude, I could go on a vacation if I sell this. It's Pokemon.
But even like 2 years ago, it was like, oh, like chilling or fusion is super cheap. Like, how much do I want to get? And I could, think about it. And like right now, there's nothing to like research because, like you said, like all the boxes are expensive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you guys think about? So I did this recently with Dan Ketchumall. You know how he buys slabs at 70 to 70, whatever.
Yeah.
I pre-emailed him. I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about making a play on this. I didn't tell him like what I paid, this and that. I'm like, will you, buy this from this, depending on like if the market hasn't shifted, maybe type of thing. But basically, if there's plays to be made where you can buy as much as you want with no risk, because Dan, if you grade the card and it's cheap enough, like the Mew UPC promo that I paid $450 for, $17 is my cost all in for all of those slabs. And this is just one example. There's 20 other cards I have on a spreadsheet that do this. 70% of the PSA 9 price of that is like, what am I losing? Like $1 per card maybe. And like it's a 70-75% gem rate. And I'm only sending in the ones I think. Those are the plays right now, in my opinion. Find a streamer, find someone that will buy the product and just sell it to them with no risk. Like 70% bundles. That's the only reason I bought 6 of them. I'm not rich, but I know that Dan will buy them for $42 a bundle, and I paid $29. So it's like, why would you not? That's the play. That's the free money, is knowing your outs, and when something comes up, just putting an egregious amount of money into it because you can flip it in a week.
You guys hear that? He's selling to Dan and not me.
Alex,
what
you have never once communicated what you're buying for.
Traitor.
Bro, you can have these for $6 or for $7 a pack. I'll even cut you.
I don't want Dan's leftovers, sloppy seconds. Get out of here.
This is Dan's box.
Yeah, get out of here with that. See?
Alex, I need you. I wanted to sell to you. I've DM'd you multiple times about 151. Time out. Actually, I'm putting Alex on blast. I'm pulling up. I'm not going to put it on screen. All right, let's see.
No, dude, I got to see. I forget.
Let's see. I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to when I first joined. Okay, so 12/1/23. So this was literally a year ago.
A year ago? I wasn't even streaming then. Get out of here.
No, 11/27/23. I have a DM with you.
That doesn't count.
No. I'm trying to pull up this when I offered you the 151. Why the hell are we DMing so much, dude?
Alex, buy my Surging Sparks for $220. You know it's going to be $250 soon.
Okay, so December 1st, Alex, I messaged you and said, would you buy? I said I have 70 loose bundles, 2 sealed displays. I'm in them for $25 a piece. Would you be willing to buy these where I can make $5 to $7 a bundle after fees and shipping? You ignored it and responded to a different question.
Dude, where's our conversation? What's your Discord? It's in the Shaka Zulu?
Yeah. 217.
All right, I found it. All right.
Okay.
When was this message?
December 1st.
Of last year?
Yeah.
Dude, get out of here with this. Come on. I didn't even start streaming until like halfway through the year.
How would I have found your channel? I didn't know you before this.
No, I like pack breaks.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, I didn't have any need for the packs back then. Yeah, that's what happened.
Well, how about that? Okay, well, here's the real call up then. How about when I messaged you 2 weeks ago and said, Alex, I have easily 500 packs of prismatic for you if you need them for stream, and I never got a response here. So what's the vig on that? Oh,
yes, I did. I said,
fuck. No, shut up. I didn't see that.
Yeah, absolutely. Depending on how things go, I can't think of a reason why I wouldn't need them. And then you said, sounds good.
Sounds like a lot of superlatives.
No, you said, sounds good. Probably going to get canceled anyway.
I didn't have my scroll, and I thought that was the end of the messages. So, yes.
You trying to put me on blast? You can't blast me.
Eat my words. You're right.
Got the receipts.
Oh, we have an apology from me in here when I apparently called you out on Legal Shield. That was before I was in the Patreon. I just got pissed at that guy when he was talking because I was looking up the company.
Dude, I don't even remember this stuff. How do you even remember all this stuff?
I'm just going through our DMs. It's like a...
Oh, man.
I want to go through my DMs.
Dude, you know the only reason I brought him on for that and talked about that was when the rattle stuff was going on. When the rattle was getting sued and like people were all getting like scared of like making content, and I'm just like, all right, yeah, I'll bring you up. We'll talk about it. Like people like want the legal stuff.
No, listen, if someone's dumb enough to pay
the timing made sense.
Absolutely. I think
I guess we can kind of wrap it up, I guess, guys, unless anyone's got any other topics they want to bring up. Derek, you got anything? You've been pretty quiet, man. Anything you want to talk about, dude?
No. I mean, I think I have a lot of similarities with Mark, actually. I went into 151 Japanese, though, as my original. I have similar ideas in terms of like risk reward, because for me, this is, that small portion of my overall investment portfolio where I just want to take a lot of risk. And, I understand people's points about diversification, but it's also about time, like how much time you want to spend doing this. The other point for me is like, I guess it sounds like, Mark, you're like private wealth management, so you're on like the public side.
Yeah.
Of the firewall, so I'm on the private side.
Oh, nice.
Which I guess I was, but at JPMC, but with a different company now. But either way, like I'm restricting what I can trade publicly, so like I would want to spend more time doing stuff like Pokemon and other private market opportunities would be one of the few things I could actually like dedicate time to and like actively invest in. Otherwise, my traditional investments just have to be in like
boring vanilla,
like ETFs, right? Just market ETFs and market indexes, basically.
Pokemon does not have to go into the tracking and trading app at work.
The SEC doesn't. I don't need to register these investments with SEC at all for now.
But we do, FINRA, if you're here. It's a finance.
About you, Fernando, anything you want to add in, bro?
And I don't know. Mark gave me an earful. Made me feel dumb.
What?
He needs to go home and rethink his life now.
But just lay in bed, play some Creed, Thinking about what the hell I got to get rid of now.
You said play some Assassin's Creed? Buy my
Yo.
Assassin's Creed for 10% above market?
No, he's got to make fun of me every chance he gets on Creed.
Not even.
I didn't know Steve Aoki was singing for Creed.
Yeah. Best.
Fernando, the hair's looking lush, bro.
Oh,
Looking fly, Mr. Fabio.
there you go. That's what they call me at work.
Don't be coy. I see you blush.
Simon, AK, you guys, anything else you wanted to discuss tonight?
No, I think we're good tonight. I mean,
This was awesome.
Yeah.
Wait, one last thing. Gender politics.
Oh god.
Cameron, you good? Jesse?
Yeah, all good.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, guys. I guess we'll go ahead and call it then. I appreciate everyone showing up.
Yeah.
It was a good combo. I mean, Mark, honestly, dude, like it's definitely something to consider. I 100% get it, man.
No, I'm just spitting out of my ass, guys. But that's just
No,
what
it's
I'm
not
doing.
though. It's serious though. Like it's definitely a discussion.
Yeah, no, I agree. Also, I do want to go into. I'm going to start tracking because the last 3 cards to absolutely boom are the 3 cards that Dan bought out on TCG Player to grade. The Bubble Mew, the Ent, or not the Entei. What was the fuck? I had them. I was gonna write it down, but
Raging
I
Bolt.
no, there was 3 cards that literally boomed to
Felt hat.
the Van Gogh Pikachu, but that
Yeah.
one was he bought a sealed case, but still like it was very odd that like the 3 cards that he made grading plays on were like the new biggest cards, and he said on his live when he's buying on TCG Player, he's spending 10 to 15 grand. I've never spent more than $1,000 on TCG Player.
It's not
so
that.
Imagine,
It's not that.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. It's the Cabal. No, for real though, they have what I think 600 to 700 people in their Patreon now,
Mhm.
and I mean, Cameron was in it, Godly Shab was in it. They're all flippers. Like that's all. Most of them are just like they run grading businesses, and so when Dan and those guys put out those plays in their Patreon, everyone piggybacks off the plays, and so everyone goes and buys those same cards, and so it buys them out and runs them up.
And then when they grade it, get it back, they're not even the 9s are worth more than the raws that they paid. That's such a good business. So I just
What
gotta
Patreon do I join to get on this?
So guys, we all pay $1 a month and we get to ride their coattails and we blow up their plays beforehand. We start selling the raws.
I mean, Godly Shab was in there. He could tell you.
Yeah,
Shab,
they're
what's
all
going on,
flippers.
man?
What
They're all
Patreon is
flippers
this?
in there.
Dan,
That's,
sketch them all.
Yeah.
Pokenomics.
Pokenomics.
But like that Bubble Mew had no reason to do that. That was 100% related to Dan and the Cabal then, because Dan had mentioned on stream that he bought a shit ton of those, and they're probably at grading right now. And
I mean, it's no different than the whole like silver temp, like all these like buyouts. Like it's like, oh, you know, the silver tempest thing's getting low. People are sharing like the numbers that are left. Everyone in Discord's all sharing it, and then 2 days later it's bought out. It's the same thing. Dan and Jake will share their grading plays, and then the entire 600 person Patreon, a lot of those people all piggyback on the same plays, and it just drives the price up and removes tons of supply from the market.
I mean, in hindsight, like I was buying Bubba Mew at 70, 80 a piece raw. I picked up like 10 of them, and I
wish I would have done that.
I wish.
Yeah, I was picking.
I wish
those
I
ones
picked
up
up
as well.
You
I
bought
thought it was
10?
undervalued.
I had 10. I paid it.
My man, dude.
5 came back at 10. 5 came back with a 9. And I sold them all except for 110, I guess. And I mean, this was in the last. I sold them in the last 2-3 weeks, and I made a good chunk off that play.
Nice.
But it was just in hindsight. I thought it was undervalued, and I'm not in any of those Patreons or other Discords.
Yeah.
It seemed undervalued. I was just
Those are
picking
the best.
them up at $7 a piece. So
You probably felt real good when you bought those, and then
yeah.
you looked and-
Oh yeah. I was like, what? I was like,
Hell yeah, man.
That's pure luck. I mean, just.
Hey man, you create your own luck. You put in the work.
Hard working.
All right, guys, we'll call it a night. Thanks everyone for showing up, and do one next month. I'll have a video coming out on a Patreon later this month, and yeah, me and Pokey Plumber will be live tomorrow afternoon if anyone wants to check out that. But
What time are you live? I'll go on lunch.
I don't know. It's supposed to be at like 2 in the afternoon, but it's basically based on when he gets off work.
Okay, cool.
So
You want me down? All right, dude.
Oh, good.
that is
Thanks,
it. I will
Alex.
see you guys next time.
Love you,
All right.
boys.
All right,
Love
later.
it. Later.
See you guys.